Adrenaline in my soul. Here comes the intro.
Oh my God, what the hell is this? He's gonna try it! And will this be enough? My God, take it!
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Ruckus Wrastlin. I am Josh Maber, alongside my tag team partner, which we're color coordinating right now. I just now noticed the gray. Justin Toner. Justin, how we doing?
Doing good. It's good stuff and bad stuff this week. Good news, bad news.
Yeah, good news, bad news.
And
bad news.
This
The
weekend.
bad news. It wasn't, super sad, but it still sucked at the end of the day. I'm not going to lie on that. But you know what? Wrestling's still really good right now.
Yes.
So that's the good news. And AEW kind of got back to what we've been telling them not to do. So on that. But we'll see what happens. Let's get into it. Let's start off with the good news. Ruby Soho and Angelo Parker. They thought people were thinking like, okay, was it an angle? Is it not? Turns out they're an actual real life couple. And she, spoiler alert, on Rampage, I think the one they're going to air it, but people have phones. It's not going to be very.
You can't see the video; it's already been copyright blocked.
Right, but basically, she told Angelo that she is pregnant, and it's real. People have confirmed it. Justin, tell us a little bit more detail.
All we know is that there's been an ongoing storyline on the AEW shows, primarily Rampage and Collision. It hasn't bled up too much onto Dynamite, where Ruby and Angelo Parker started dating. They were interested in each other, and then they kind of like, we're going to go out and date, and that caused a rift between her and Saraya, and Saraya turned on Ruby, hurt Angelo, so brought in her brother into AEW to take Angelo out. And then apparently worked out that during the tapings last night for they assume it's going to air on Rampage because there's a segment where she tells him that she's pregnant with their baby, and there's celebration. It's like he's happy, and people want to go, okay, what? But then Sunrise Step and others are like, actually, no, this is not storyline. It is legit. She is legit pregnant. They are a legit real life couple. And this whole storyline started because they are a real life couple. And they wanted to use it for storyline purposes. So I didn't realize that at all. No, I don't think anybody did. I think it's like they kept it kind of low key, I guess. So congratulations to Ruby and Angelo Parker.
Yeah, this is. I mean, I've always liked Angelo Parker. GIF saying here. Didn't realize Ross Daddy Magic.
I think, but he was working Collision this week with Tony, so he's kind of like he's been doing some commentary work lately for sure. He's kind of like bounced between both shows.
Yeah. But 2.0 are definitely they could be anywhere and be successful, especially with Triple H back in there with that. But I think they're definitely with AEW, especially now that they're tied with Ruby Soho. But that's really cool. I've always liked Ruby Soho's work. Obviously, the booking has always been in the women's division and stuff has always been very suspect, and even her booking has been suspect.
Yes.
Just in general. But she's still very good, and her and Angela, and I've always liked, Cool Hand and Ange and Daddy Magic and stuff. I've always thought they were a really good tag team, and it's just really cool to see them take some well-deserved spotlight outside of other people's shadow. It's them just doing them and being a draw by themselves.
Yep.
And this definitely is bringing more eyeballs. Now, obviously, with her being pregnant, I think they'll still be doing. I don't think, obviously, Ruby's not going to be any physical type of thing, but I think they'll still kind of carry this on a little bit.
Yeah.
With that, because it's getting the internet talking.
Yeah.
But at least it's washing. This is helping washing away what happened previously last week with AEW, and which they needed.
Yeah.
Sorely needed there. So
Yeah,
that's good news. Now flip to the bad news. Our boy, the king of the death match, Matt Cardona, the king of the indies. Well, how do you want to say it?
yeah,
Unfortunately, with wrestling and especially with all the dates,
yeah.
injuries happen,
It just
and he
happened.
suffered a torn pec, which sucks. People have been thinking. I mean, he just had that really good TNT match with Edge. That was really cool a few weeks ago. But the dude's been big time worker. I mean, he's
Yes.
ruling the indie scene. He's the biggest hustler outside. He's the biggest hustler in wrestling right now. And it just stinks anytime someone gets injured. Is there any timeline? We know a surgery did happen. What's the timeline on that?
Well, it's at least a couple months because let's see, Cody tore his pec just before that Hell in the Cell match, and he didn't come back until the Rumble, so he was out. That was about, let's see, Hell in the Cell was just before SummerSlam. It's about five. It could be about 5 to 6 months.
Okay. I just don't know. I just hope Matt. I mean, I hope you're a podcast and stuff like that. Obviously, your wife being with WWE, but if you're not wrestling, and it's not like you're getting a paycheck. If you're not wrestling in the indies, you're not making money, unfortunately.
Well, thankfully though, he'll still be able to do go to cons and
yeah.
know,
I don't think it just stinks that I just don't want him to rush back because of how the indie circuit works.
He made it clear. He's like, yeah, I won't be able to wrestle for a few months, but I'm still available to come to cons and everything. So I'm sure that he'll get plenty of that booking to be able. So
like I said, I'm not. That's why I'm saying, just like Matt, please don't rush back because of that. I don't think he will. I think with him and his wife, and they're pretty.
That's the thing when you're on the indies, you're not on any guaranteed contracts. It's
no.
like you're paid per appearance.
Yeah, so and I'm with Kit. I think he's doing very well money-wise.
Yeah, no, he's he's probably not in any financial issue. It's just that he's just gonna have to just be a little.
It's just when you've kept up with the business. If you kept up with the business long enough, like we have, it's just that's the very first thought in fact for mine. It's like when you get injured like that, you're not in any guaranteed contract. So even when you're on the shelf, you're not making money. When you're on the indies, like you have to book shows, promoters have to call and book you so you can drive that town rather than being part of an AEW or something like that signs you to a contract in that way. So that stinks there. But getting back and then flipping back to good news, cool thing. Obviously, we had a huge debut on SmackDown. No spoiler alert, but we'll get to kind of how that all developed. And something that we actually got wrong with what happened on SmackDown. At least I thought. Was not going to happen. But yeah, our boy Tama Tonga, by our boy, I mean, I've just been a huge fan of it. I've been so excited to see him finally debut. There was rumors he was signing. We didn't know if he could be NXT, stuff like that. Nope, he debuted on SmackDown. And it came out, which wasn't a surprise, Karl Anderson helped Tama Tonga get to WWE, which is surprising. Like he needed any help with how Triple H has his ear to the whole wrestling world. But just kind of go over, I know it was kind of some quotes, but go over how Karl Anderson helped his Bullet Club brethren, which they were two of the founders of Bullet Club. So just kind of explain how Karl Anderson helped Tama Tonga get to the E, as they would say.
Well, Karl Anderson was on Busted Open Radio. I think it was earlier this week. He was on as a guest. And he basically went over that he said that since he's close friends with Tama and he's always felt that he could do well at WWE, he keeps in touch with him, and Tama let him know that his contract was going to be coming up soon, and so he said that. I remember texting Triple H and telling him that Tama's contract was coming up, and I think Tama was a full-blown can't mess if you ask me, and Triple H wrote back right away. It took a year to get it done, but like I said, I'm a big believer in things happening for a reason. So, basically, because he kept in touch with Tama, it's like, that's when Tama let him know, like, hey, my contract's gonna be coming up, and he was probably like, I would definitely be interested in coming to WWE, and it's like, and so that's what Karl was like. It's like text Triple H, like, yo, it's like,
right.
It's like, and so. of course, as soon as Triple H would know about that, he'd be like, yeah, we need to talk to him.
Yeah.
So
I'm just surprised that he got to the main roster. He didn't do any NXT stint or anything like. I mean, he's in his 40s, so it's not like
exactly. He's not some newbie. It's
right.
like he doesn't need to be in NXT. It's like he's been around the block for quite a while. I mean, it's like he's very seasoned. Now you were speculating he might have been get involved in the OC because his relationship with the Good Brothers and AJ, being all former Bullet Club. But no, he's been inserted into the Bloodline storyline. We'll go into more in depth into that when we get to talk SmackDown here a little bit.
Yeah.
But that was surprised me. I was like, okay, this is getting really interesting.
There was a lot of
he's not really related to the Rock and Roman.
There's a Samoan, there's Tongan, there's difference.
Yeah, he's Tongan. He's related to Haku.
Right.
And they say he's his son. He is technically actually his nephew, but Haku adopted him, so he is blood. It's just that it's like he's like his adopted son, and it's like but actually his nephew. But either way, it's like Haku basically like helped take care of and raise him. So that's why it's like it's just more of a father than uncle. So that's so it's like he's not part of the bloodline, but he's been involved. And of course, the other rumored person who is related to the family, Jacob Fatu, is rumored to be coming in pretty soon as well. So, if only Giff.
Yeah,
he's still pretty awesome though. But it's like I think he's pretty much retired.
every story another wrestler tells about Haku just gets crazier and crazier, and you're just like, yeah, that makes sense. Haku back in the day with that. But yeah, and I want to see him, Tama. I want to see him bring back that Knights of the Old Republic face paint that he used to do back in New Japan. I want to see him do that. Kind of like Finn does, like brings out the demon every once in a while.
Here's the other interesting thing that Karl said when he was on Bustle Bravery. He said that he didn't expect to debut that night. He was coming in. He texted Karl and said that he was going to be there in Detroit for SmackDown. He had no clue he was going to debut that night either, which is kind of WWE style. He said they'll bring you in and then you got to debut. So they told him probably like hey, come to SmackDown. It's like you see things, and then it's like, hey, surprise, you're going on TV tonight.
Right.
It's like,
why? My question, I guess, with this is why did it take so long? Because I've kind of been in his corner for a while.
I think his contract only expired recently. Like
right, but he only had like a 2-year like his contract came up like 2 years ago, and even AEW, no one bid at it. And he stayed with New Japan for some reason.
I think, well, like Karl said, it was just like he let him know like this was like a year ago. So he gave Karl a heads up that my contract's going to be ending at this time, and that he was more interested in coming to WWE. And so by letting Triple H know, they were able to say so as soon as the contract was over, they could be able to talk to him, because otherwise you got to get permission. Like how Tony mentioned that even though when he got the Ospreay deal done, Ospreay was still under contract with New Japan. When he talked to him and negotiated him, that was only because New Japan, because of how good his relationship with New Japan, they allowed that to happen. It's like, because normally is like you can't there's nothing against it, but it's just like etiquette to wait until they're our official free agent before you can talk to them.
Yeah, there's tampering, even though there's no. It's like one of the unwritten rules. It's like don't tamper, even though there's no.
It was basically so. It's like so they knew it was going to come up. It must have happened just at the beginning of this year or something, just in the last few months that it came up. That it was going to come up at the beginning of this year, so that they were, and that obviously he was interested, because otherwise he wouldn't. I mean, Karl wouldn't have told Triple H about it, because if he wasn't interested in talking to WWE and coming over. So it's like,
if there's anyone that would definitely put in a good word for Tama, it's definitely Karl, because if you kind of go back as far as history wise, Karl and Tama were like a tag team, right? And
Yeah.
then they form with Finn and the
Well, like you said
Underboss.
on Nova, it's like getting him is like a no-brainer.
Right.
It's like if he's available, you go get him.
Yeah, he suits character work and stuff like that. His in-ring work is fine. I know it's not like it's not.
But basically, it was kind of like he was kind of like a little mediary where like it was like because like him letting Triple H know his contract was going to come up at when it was going to come up is not it wouldn't be considered tampering.
No,
it's more just a heads up that it's like his contract's coming up. He's interested in talking to us. I just wanted to let you know. So and then as soon as he became free agent, they'd be like, it's like, yo, let's talk.
Right. No, but definitely, it's just awesome to see Tama and actually he actually got a decent pop. It was good.
Oh yeah, it was amazing that the fans actually like they popped for him again. It's like, wow, I guess there's not enough of them pay attention to New Japan stuff to know who he was.
Yeah, because that was one thing I was like, because when we got the I posted on our Discord that he's in this, he's there, he's at SmackDown, so he has to do something, and you're always ahead of me, and I had our Discord up, and it was like Tama, and anyway, we'll get to that part, but anyway, when that came, I was like, and he took off the hood, I was like, please know who he is, please some reaction. There was a decent reaction. I was actually surprised at how much reaction. Last thing, do you want to wait for the Meltzer comments on Trick for NXT? Or do you want to go over it now with him and Paxley?
Let's save that for when we talk NXT.
Okay. All right. So let's. Any other things we want to go over?
No,
I mean, the Rhea stuff we can go. It literally was part of Raw, so we can do with that.
What's going on with Rhea? We can go over when we get to Raw.
Okay. Yeah. Nothing else. I know. If anyone in the comments wants us to come over something we haven't done with the news, but it's after WrestleMania and everything like that. It's kind of a
things are a little quiet outside of like injuries or pregnancies.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So let's go over SmackDown, which I really like that last match a lot.
All right, here we go with recap of what happened on last week's episode of Friday Night SmackDown. Show opened with new WWE champion, undisputed champion Cody Rhodes, cutting a promo, verbally trashed to Rock a little bit, and then moved on to talking about who his opponent could be coming up at Backlash. It was announced that there'd be 2 triple threat matches on the show, and the winners of those 2 triple threat matches would face each other the following week, and the winner of that match would face Cody for the title at Backlash. And he went over each of the opponents and told them in the end that, he's now no longer the hunter, but the hunted, and warned all of them that when you come for the king, you better not miss. The bloodline, in the form of Heyman, Jimmy Uso, and Solo Sikoa, went to what used to be Roman's locker room, but now belongs to Cody because now he's the champion. Kevin Owens told them that they're not allowed in and then shut the door on them. Solo was continuing. Heyman told him to stop, said that wins and losses have consequences, and since Roman lost, that means the championship's dressing room isn't theirs anymore. But they're going to need to get the title back in the bloodline, and that's an order from the tribal chief. So then we had our first triple threat match, determined number 1 contender to face Cody. Bobby Lashley taking on LA Knight and Santos Escobar. Good action here. Both the Pride and Legado del Fantasma got involved due to being under triple threat rules, no disqualifications. But in the end, LA Knight caught Santos with the BFT, pick up the victory, and move on to next week's number 1 contender match. Then we had a very important segment as the Bloodline came out to speak. Heyman started talking about Mania, saying how last year Cody took his eye off the ball and lost, but this year Cody flipped the script and turned the tables, and it was Roman who made a mistake and got distracted, and it cost him, and now he's no longer the champion. While he's doing this, all of a sudden Solo stops Heyman, interrupts, and says that when there's loss, you lose, there are consequences, and that consequences have to change. He pushes Heyman aside, goes stare down Jimmy, hugs him, tells him he's his brother and he loves him, turns his back, And out of nowhere, bam! Someone attacks Jimmy Fry and starts beating down. And the hoodie comes off to reveal it is indeed Tama Tonga, former New Japan star, making his WWE debut. He and Solo then proceed to destroy Jimmy to the objections of Heyman, who says that this is not what the Tribal Chief wanted. They put a chair around his neck, and Solo, after he tells him he loves him again, pillanizes the neck with a butt splash. And Solo and Tonga throw up the Bloodlines one. Heyman tries to do it, he's a little afraid. He tries to call Roman Reigns, but Solo grabs the phone and destroys it to prevent him from calling Roman. Oh boy. Braun Breaker took on Cameron Grimes. He squashed poor Cameron Grimes really quick. Pick up a quick victory. Give him momentum. AJ cut a promo backstage about the main event triple threat match. So he was going to win and go, and we'll get his rematch with LA Knight next week, and then move on to face Cody at Backlash. Bayley came out. Fans welcomed her, saying you deserved it. Thank the fans for being behind her, and that I started talking about potential challengers and building a vision. Then it was Tivy time as Tivy Strang came out, saying that it sounded like Bayley was about to offer an open challenge, and she would gladly accept, but Naomi came out to cut her off. Bayley made it clear to Tiffany there is no open challenge, and in fact, she wanted to give the first shot at the title to Naomi. But since Tiffany erupted, they can fight it out, and whoever wins will face her next week. So we had Naomi taking on Tiffany Stratton. Good match, but Naomi picked up the victory this time, much to poor Tiffy's disappointment, but it's okay. It's only a matter of time before it is Tiffy's time. Then we had Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill teaming up to take on Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. And the super team of Bianca and Jade picked up the victory. No surprise there. They did a cool promo segment with Kevin Owens where he borrowed the mic from Brian Saxon and proceeded to cut a promo as he walked out to the ring for the main event match. Very cool stuff. Nice moment where he tosses the mic to Jamie Noble and Gorilla and tells Bruce Pritchard to hit his music as he walks out. So, main event match, AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens and Rey Mysterio. Winner will face LA Knight in the number one contender match next week. This was a fantastic match, good main event match. Really cool finish where AJ took Rey, did an avalanche Styles clashing Rey on top of Kevin Owens, and then pinning Rey to pick up the victory. So he gets his rematch with LA Knight, and this time the stakes are that whoever wins gets to face Cody for the title of Backlash. LA Knight came out to have words with AJ, and the two threw insults back at each other as the show came to a close. So that's all that happened on this past week's episode of Friday Night Smackdown.
The finish of the last match was so freaking cool.
Yeah.
I love that finish.
No, that Avalanche Styles clash on top of KO from like the second rope, and then he hits Rey was just that was dope.
And I'm glad that they're actually like showcasing. It's crazy, right? We talk about this like every other week, but it's crazy when you actually like put a quote unquote mid carder that would never get these type of matches in these matches to showcase their abilities. Now, granted, you had that last match they were main event guys, but you had Santos, LA Knight, which some people still don't think is a main event. You can go sit in the corner.
Yeah.
And
I'm saying.
Yeah, and so you had Santos involved, which is, and people still think like I'm glad to see Santos getting that push on that regard, because I think he can definitely do it. That's the one thing I like about Triple H. Triple H's booking is that he showcases and puts forefront of multiple superstars as just to kind of pseudo quote Paul Heyman in his Hall of Fame speech, which I still pretty much just visit every other week because that speech still is just awesome. But how he puts forth multiple superstars in different matches to showcase them if to make it believable that they could be the guy or the woman, either way. And I like the way he books that. Now, granted, it was the LA Knight match, not as good as the AJ Styles. Yeah, because you have 3 solid guys, and AJ Styles and Ray can work with anyone, and KO can work with anyone. So yeah, obviously that there's a reason that those 3 were the main event. But I'm just liking the way that we're showcasing, and we're not, you go out there, you get one shot to seize everything. Yes, you still have like kind of the one shot, but we know these people can, these guys can do this thing and get to that situation, and they're not just there. And the next thing you know, you're Jay White on not even on the pay-per-view type crap.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, both triple threat matches were quite good. With the main event one just being just a little bit better. That because of the finish. That's like what AJ did to Ray and KO. It's like that was like that put it a little bit, that gave it the edge. Yeah, there was a lot of hijinks going on in the first one, of course, because there's factions involved. So, I'll. Some good promo work from both Cody and Bailey. I liked the whole stuff with Tiffany. Definitely positioning her that it's like, I know some people go like, oh, why did Tiffany lose the event? It's like, just chill, guys, just chill.
Right.
Okay. As I said, it's like TV time is coming. It is here. Yeah. It's like it's
Tiff.
Yeah, no, Tiffany versus a lot of people is going to be fire. And plus her name, we got time, so it's obviously part of a storyline.
Hold on. Did you say something that Tony Khan knows nothing about, which is like giving your top superstars time before they meet and then making a better money draw than just burying the next best person? What?
Maybe. I don't know.
That's such a weird. No. You bring up Tiffany Stratton, put her in the main event against Bailey. She gets squashed, and then we never hear from her again. Why don't you do that? That sounds like nothing. Anyway, keep going.
Yeah. So yeah, and then we had Bianca and Jade. Obviously, a lot of people speculate that they might pair Bianca and Jade together as a tag team, and yeah, that's exactly what's happened. Because I definitely understand why. And it's like they've become pretty good friends outside the ring, and those two together are like oh dear God, look out! It's like Asuka and Kairi Sane better look out, because there's a wrecking machine heading their way, and it's Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill.
That's. Are we gonna get that at Backlash?
I don't know if it's going to be a Backlash. We'll see. They're kind of keeping things. They're moving some stuff forward, but kind of keeping little things a little loose because the draft's coming up. Okay. So, which I think will probably. I think that. Well, I believe the draft happens just before the pay-per-view, but it probably won't. The changes to the rosters won't take effect till after the pay-per-view. Is what I would assume. That's what they usually done. Let's double check on that.
That's Belair and Ford. Now, whether or not they might get talked into it, and it could get there, they're kind of the same way as Becky and Seth. Is obviously Becky and Seth just felt like they didn't like doing that. You can just tell, and it was just awkward because the script writing was terrible. It was back when like the Super Vince McMahon stuff. They don't want to. I mean, it depends on how good their reality show is.
Yeah,
because that's doing really well. But they've been on record of saying they'd rather just do their own thing and not have them together.
Yeah, it's like both her and Seth were really upset about that whole storyline where they were acknowledged to be they were a real life couple at the time, and they were feuding with Baron Corbin and what's her name, Lacey Evans. Yeah, because there was the problem was that their characters as baby faces didn't really mesh very well together.
No,
And
it
so you
was
had some very
cringe.
awkward.
It was very cringe.
It was very cringe, and a lot of promo work was very awkward. The match at Extreme Rules they had actually turned out to be pretty actually good, but like they just weren't happy with the storyline. So that's why, even though everyone knows that they're married and they have a daughter, they don't interact on screen at all.
Mm-mm. It's kind of the same thing. That's what I was saying. It's kind of the same thing with Belair and Ford. They've been the kind of same way of like, yes, they had that reality show, but they really like to do their own thing.
Yeah,
they don't really want to. That's true, right? They kind of the same way with Seth and.
It's like during the pandemic, there was a couple times where she worked with the Prophets, but otherwise they've also kind of like not really crossed paths storyline wise at all since then.
Yeah.
So, and but I don't know if they're going to get split up. I think
they literally just came out with the Pride shirts.
Right. I wouldn't worry about that. And plus, the tag team division is getting a major focus now that they split the titles again. So
yeah. And they did just leak the tag titles, and I don't know if that's.
Oh, this is a good question. I don't know where Kevin Owens where they're going to do with Kevin Owens, because he definitely wasn't going to take the U.S. title from Logan Paul. So I don't know what's going to happen with him right now.
Draft. Draft.
Well, yeah.
The draft is going to help KO.
Yeah, probably. Maybe moving back to Raw, give him some fresh matchups. Who knows?
Have they actually come out and said that Cody's going to be wherever? Still doesn't matter what the draft is.
No, they haven't said anything about what the draft rules are. If it it's like so, the draft starts on SmackDown on the 26th, and then the other half of it is on Raw on the 29th. Yeah, and Backlash is Saturday the 4th. So yeah, the draft is going to take place just before the pay-per-view, and so then the changes, of course, wouldn't take effect till after the pay-per-view is over. So
okay, poor Cameron Grimes, man. Remember when he was like cool?
I know
that
that's
$1 million man.
One thing I've been disappointed with Triple H is that it's like there's Grimes has gotten lost in the shuffle. He's really talented. I've always been a fan of his. So it's sad to see him basically be in jobber status.
If you want the next, but if you wanted to preview the next face of WWE, look no further than his opponent.
Yeah, Braun's over. He's awesome.
At this point, I don't know. I'm torn. Yes, put Grimes back in NXT. Yes,
that could happen. Because they said that NXT is going to participate in the draft, as in they will get to pick people who they want on their show.
Mm-hmm.
So what that means, I think, basically, is that Triple H via Ava is going to pick certain main roster stars to come back to NXT to help with the.
Forgot about that. But I will say this about Braun. Okay, here's the question. Here's $1 million question. Not to put pun on the Grimes situation. Here's $1 million question. Do you, when Braun is wrestling, do you keep the ring as it is and then have it move and hear the skirt because he just moves the ring because he hits the rope so hard, or do you actually tie it down because he's moving the ring?
Nope.
I was about to say it's a better that sound effect, and just it makes him look that much more badass. Like, you have to keep it that way. You just have to tell Braun, don't kill yourself when you hit the ropes like that. Just do it because it's like that one signature. Just like hit the rope that hard to make it move. Hear that in the ring and stuff like that. But yeah, no, Braun, and that's why I'm bringing up the Cody thing, is because when you come out Raw after Mania and Triple H is like the new face of WWE, and his live dates are definitely there, but you only keep him on one show.
Mm-hmm.
If you're the face of WWE, shouldn't you be everywhere? Yeah.
Also, I expect Damage Control to show up to cause chaos next week during Bayley's and Naomi's title match.
For sure.
Because that's not over yet.
No.
They're not going to let EO losing the title go. It's like there's going to be retaliation. Now let's get to the bloodline segment.
Yeah,
okay,
I was going to say, I think we go into everything else. Let's get to the bloodline.
This was amazing.
I loved it. Loved it.
So much stuff going on here that it just the ramifications for the next couple months. It immediately flipped the switch on what's going on with the bloodline. And it's got people intrigued. It's got people excited. It was the right move. There was lots of nice little foreshadowing. I love how Solo threw what Heyman said about, hey, loss have consequences back at him. It was very Godfather-esque with Solo going over, hugging Jimmy. He's like,
yeah,
bro, I love you. And then turning his back, and then wham, there's Tama Tonga to start beating the shit out of him. And I love that Corey Graves and Wayberry did a great job of being like, oh my God, that's Tama Tonga. Holy shit.
Right. They did very good at putting over Tama Tonga. I mean, people call it, is it Tama or Tama? I've been calling him Tama for 12 years.
Tama, I think Wade said Tama Tonga.
Okay.
Yeah, and of course, Corey mentioned that, it's like...
Giff, tell me who's... Is it... Am I wrong? Is it not Tama? Just say no in the chat.
Yeah, it's mentioning that, he's son of Haku. So immediately you're like, oh, damn. It's because everyone knows how Haku is, how badass he is. So it's like, if that's his son, it's like, oh, damn. So, that was a good way to mentioning that to get over just you should fear this man.
Right.
And they just annihilated poor Jimmy, man. And then the Pillmanization Rikishi butt splash move. And again, before he does it, I love you. It's basically Solo saying, it's like, you're my brother, I love you, but this has to be done. It's right. Like you are dead weight that we need to get rid of. It's like, it's like basically he was just Jimmy was once again ejected from the bloodline. This time by his own brother.
But who is pulling the string?
That's the thing, because Tonga told Heyman in the back that what they did was by orders of the tribal chief. Question is, which tribal chief?
Right.
Because
is there a new one?
Because Heyman was horrified and said out loud that you could hear very clearly. He was screaming, "This is not what the tribal chief wants." And when he tried to call Roman, Solo's like, "Nope,
smash.
You're not calling him, damn it!" It smashed the phone.
This would be,
So if Roman was okay with this, why would Solo do that?
The funniest thing would be if he says by the order of the tribal chief, and everyone's thinking it's The Rock, and then Rikishi comes out, and all he says is, "I did it for The Rock."
No.
I couldn't get around. I couldn't resist it. It's not gonna happen, but that'd be hilarious. Just be like, people were like, really? And then I'd just be cracking up laughing because I'm like, that's the dumbest, funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. Just for that callback. On that, but
there's
yeah,
a lot of possibilities. Either Solo is legit trying to take over the bloodline and become the tribal chief,
right?
Or he's acting on behalf of The Rock,
right? But here's the thing.
It could be both.
And shout out to Tempest for Wrestle Talk, because he kind of brought up the point that I was thinking it, but then he said it and he put it into decent, put the thought in my brain. Is the reason we love the bloodline, at least throughout until WrestleMania 39, was every person in the bloodline had a character.
Yes,
and they had everyone had kind of a storyline, and you had, especially with the Sammy thing, like you can just tell, it's like, well, you had this relationship and you had this relationship,
and then what
it changed and all that stuff. Whereas once WrestleMania 39 happened, and they really didn't, that was the pivot of like, how are we going to make this happen until WrestleMania 40? And then it just became Jimmy, and then Jay made sense, but the Jimmy and Solo thing, at the end of the day, leading up to WrestleMania 40, they just became lackeys. Like they just came out, beat people up, and Solo would lose. They would come out, beat people up, and Solo would lose, and Jimmy would lose. And like, you just didn't buy in, which didn't help. Yeah. Exactly. The Solo push came back. But because we were saying,
because after he destroyed Cena at Crown Jewel last
year, nothing happened.
They did nothing with Solo.
Right. Absolutely Solo lost every single match.
Yeah.
And was just just another
Someone
body.
like him and Jimmy took so many pinfalls. It's like leading up to WrestleMania. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, they became Virgil basically
Yeah.
at that point. R.I.P.
But this
But still,
immediately reheats Solo,
Mhm.
reminds people that he's not to be messed with. It's horrific because what he did to his own brother,
right?
Kicking him out of the bloodline. Looks like he is doing a hostile takeover
hmm
with Roman out. And I mean, it doesn't take a brain to realize that what he's doing is not authorized by Roman Reigns.
No.
So that's where on orders of tribal chief, it's like it was Tonga referring to Solo or The Rock.
Right.
I guess it's stay tuned.
Right. Because even Paul Heyman's like, what do you mean by that?
Because I mean, and also people and
it's fighting off Jimmy too, because they were asking, it's like, is Jimmy okay? And Paul Heyman's like, no, he's not.
And so this is an avenue to bring Jay and Jimmy back on the same page.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's 100%. Because even leading up to WrestleMania in their WWE world where they had each had a interview, and they asked him about him and Jay. They asked Jay about him and Jimmy. He goes, you know what? At the end of the day, whoever wins this match, no matter what, I'm still going to ride with my brother. He basically laid the seed down of we got to solve this issue, but we're still family. I'm still gonna have his back no matter what. When it comes to it, when there's a reason I need to step in, I'm gonna step in. He still left that open, which I don't know if that's just him speaking from the heart. It was a really heartfelt thing of him at WrestleMania with his kids, but yeah, still.
Yeah, and this is where the draft will help, because then they're gonna put Jay back with the Bloodline stuff on the same show, whether it's gonna be Raw, SmackDown. We'll see.
Dude, Jay and Logan Paul, that would be fun. That would be fun. Even though I just can't believe how bad Jay and Jimmy's match was.
I saw some people speculating, and it makes sense. There is a possibility that the way that they'll have Jacob Fatu come in will be at Backlash to attack Jay.
Yeah. Here's the issue. I like it and I don't like it. And I'll give you my reasons. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I mean, it's going to be weird if I say I like it, I don't like it. Let's move on to Raw. Anyway, here's why I don't like it is because obviously I posted on our Discord, someone made a War Games, which I wish we would have. This Dream War Games. I don't care. But you're literally having Tama, who no one really knows, right? No established. Solo, who's basically been a guy who's getting beat every day, but we knew he had this in him. And Fatu, who's Jacob Fatu, who he's never had one match in there, and The Rock, and then you have Roman, the Usos, and Sami Zayn. That does not make sense if you think about it. Unless you're really going to have Jimmy take the fall in that, War Games thing, and then The Rock is just that much bigger, it still will be a draw. Don't get me wrong. The Rock and all those guys involved. But you get what I'm saying? The 4v4, it makes no sense based on the build that you have.
I know some people want the Bloodline Civil War to have a War Games match, but I don't see The Rock wanting to do War Games. Just to make sure he doesn't get injured.
No.
He
would be available based off a timeline.
Yeah,
but I don't think he'd do that.
I think it would make more sense for it to be it's 3-on-3. It's Roman and the Usos versus Solo, Tonga, and Jacob Fatu. And then at some point, The Rock will be probably revealed as the mastermind behind the new Bloodline 2.0.
Yeah.
And that will, of course, lead to, Rock Roman next year.
Are you calling it? Are we calling this the new blood?
It's I've seen people say new Bloodline 2.0. Use whatever moniker you want.
Well, I was alluding to the WCW when it was sucking. Remember the new blood in WCW?
Okay. You meant new Blood Rising. Sorry.
Yeah, I was taking you back there. You like that? Yeah.
That went over my head.
Yeah, because it sucked. But it's a stain. It's a stain in wrestling that I'll never.
Please don't remind me of WCW 2000. I watched that.
Remember that great feud between Billy Kidman and Hulk Hogan? That was great. Let's talk about that.
No, thank you.
Anyway, but yes, this would be. My guy. We got that one.
Okay.
All right, yeah. But yeah, Jay and Paul would be nice. But no. Overall, the
We'll
only
do a
thing I
Orange
did.
Cassidy.
What? Oh yeah. Okay.
Orange Cassidy, thumbs up.
Yeah, the Orange Cassidy. Oh yeah, whatever. Which Jericho came out. Speaking about Orange Cassidy, real quick before we move on to Raw. Jericho came out and was like, "What's the best wrestlers that have never won a world title?" And he was like, Scott Hall. I forget the other one. And then he said Orange Cassidy. And I'm like, are you just trying to put over your guy? But that makes sense to me. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, he's right. He's not wrong. But it's just kind of weird to hear like these two. I forget the other legend that he said, and then like maybe Jake the Snake or something, because I don't think Jake the Snake ever won a world title.
He never
But
did.
Scott Hall is always like the main one. Like, he should have won a world title. But him putting him in Orange Cassidy, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense on that. But the only thing I did not like production wise about this show is them putting just a random cut of Tama and the backstage segment in between the Naomi Tiffy match.
That was weird timing. That should have been saved either before or after the Tiffy Naomi match. Oh, also shout out to the awesome one shot promo from Kevin Owens where he's like, "I'm sorry, Byron, let me borrow the mic from you." Also, did you notice the funny little touch where he tossed the CM Punk shirt off the merch table in the back? Just to remind you, he's not a fan of Punk.
That's why I've like, and we'll get to like the greatest entrance in Raw history to me. But the one thing that threw me off is the production has been so awesome and so new, so refreshing, and then we had that, which threw me off. I'm like, yeah, we all can't bat 1,000 to understand it, but that was just so clunky to me, based on how smooth the way they've been shooting wrestling matches, backstage segment, stuff like that. So maybe they were just trying something and it just didn't work, because it wasn't like they came out and they were like, okay, ring the bell, and they stood in the ring for god awful times, which I never understand. It's like, if you're in a live event, you know what I'm talking about, where they stand in the ring for way too long for commercial breaks and shit like that. But yeah, it was so weird. It was like they came back and they were like 75% through the match from that backstage segment. Like, it just did not. Did I miss something there? Like, I just don't what do you think their thought process was with that? About that production, I just don't get it.
Yeah.
Oh well. But anyway, it was still a great show. I would think AJ Styles is gonna finally beat LA Knight.
Yes.
And then LA Knight's gonna screw over AJ Styles.
You're not gonna have
Cody.
Cody's first defense is not going to be against another top babyface like that.
It's definitely going to be AJ Styles. And I can't wait for that. I hope
that match will kick ass.
Just let that match happen. Don't let LA Knight, even though it probably will. That way we have the rubber match
and it's fresh because Cody and AJ have not squared off in the ring.
Nope.
Since he came back.
AJ's face is dad, but he's never faced Cody.
Nope.
Which was kind of a weird match in TNA. But anyway. All right, let's move on to Raw.
All right, here's what happened on this week's episode of Monday Night Raw. Some very bad and sad news to open shows. Rhea came out with an arm and sling, confirming reports from earlier in the day that she was injured and was probably going to have to give a title, and unfortunately, that's what she had to do. She cut a promo, say she was really pissed off. Fans were not happy about it either, that she was going to be out for a couple months due to a arm elbow injury, and that she was going to have to vacate the championship. She vowed that when she heals up and gets back, she's going to get the title back, but she's also going to come for Liv Morgan and make sure that she's probably going to get sent to the morgue. So, really unfortunate news. They would announce that they will determine who the new Women's World Champion will be next week on Raw. How they're going to do that and who's going to be involved, don't know yet. We'll see. Rhea Ripley got hugs from all members of Judgment Day. Told them to keep things going while she's gone and to take care of Dominic, of course. Then we had Sheamus finally making his return after being out last 8 months due to injury, taking on Ivar. good match. Good match for Sheamus to come back on. Fans were really happy to see him, and were pumped for him. And he defeated Ivar with Bro Kick. Then we had a ceremony where Triple H and Ann Pierce in the ring, and they brought out Awesome Truth, Miz and R-Truth, and presented them with new title belts, and that going forward they were going to be the World Tag Team Champions. So the style is very similar to the World Men's and World's World Heavyweight Championship titles on the show. And, of course, funny stuff from R-Truth, as you would expect. Then we had them stay at ringside to watch a number one contender match. DIY taking on the Creed Brothers and New Day. Winner would face Awesome Truth for the titles next week on Raw. Really good stuff from all three teams, as you would expect. But in the end, DIY picked up the fall by hitting Xavier Woods with Meet in the Middle to pick up the victory. To face their buddies, R-Truth and Miz, next week for the titles. Drew McIntyre was interviewed in the back about what happened last week with CM Punk once again screwing him out of a title opportunity. He was laughing, but then eventually destroyed a TV monitor that was showing the footage that happened last week. So, the build to that feud continues to heat up. Then we had Candice LeRae, Ivan, and Indy Hartwell taking on Ivan and Maxine Dupree. Not a long match. Indy starting to listen to Candice and do the little chicanery to pick up the victory, a.k.a. cheat to win. Then we had Andrade taking on Dirty Dom Mysterio. Andrade picked up the victory despite attempts by the Judgment Day to get interfere. And then we had another women's tag match, Chelsea Green and Piper Niven taking on Katana Chance and Kaden Carter, with the heels and former tag team champions picking up the victory. Liv Morgan was interviewed backstage saying that she was didn't understand why everyone was sympathetic to Rhea Ripley. She considered what happened to her karma, justice, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, that Rhea got what she deserved. Cody came out, cut a promo, and brought out James to have a little chat, saying that now that he's WWE champion, he's going to be, of course, mostly on SmackDown. Offered to have Jace back in his match tonight, but he said, no, it's okay. I got this. And Cody had a little joke telling him that until we eat again. Then we had Finn Balor taking on Jey Uso. Finn trying to soften up Jey before he faces Damian Priest for the world title at Backlash. Jey picked up the victory. Judgment Day came out and attacked him while he was doing a stare down with Damian Priest. And an interesting moment where Priest didn't seem too happy that Judgment Day was attacking Jey, as if he didn't exactly approve. And then we had the big main event in Montreal. Chad Gable challenging Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship. This was a banger main event, as you would expect from these two men. Chad did everything to try to win, but in the end, Sami Zayn hit the Luva kick on Chad to retain the title. At first, Gables looked very upset, but he did a sign of respect with Sami and looked to leave. Sami went out to celebrate with his family, but while Sami was hugging his wife, Chad snuck up behind him and attacked him, hitting him with a German suplex to complete the heel turn. Beat up Sami all over the ringside area as McAfee and Cole were going nuts about how being despicable he was being. And then he tied Sami up into the corner ring post and put him in the ankle lock as referees tried to get him to let go as the show went off the air. So that's all that happened on this week's episode of Monday Night Raw.
Man, that opening was just depressing, man. I just felt bad.
Yeah, it really fucking sucks for Rhea. It's like she's red hot. She's coming off a big win at WrestleMania, beating Becky, and she gets hurt by just a freak way.
Judgment Day is on top of the world with them without the two titles and all that stuff, and then she has to go away. Like even that like little thing in the back with them and Judgment Day,
Yeah.
It's like they're supposed to be heels, but you just felt it, man. Like you can feel how close knit they are.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just some kayfabe thing. Like
No.
they're very close knit. I mean, like freaking Damien was a groomsman in Dom's wedding.
Yeah, they're all really tight.
Yeah, they're all very tight, and like Damien is kind of like the head guy in that group because they're always like the one that like Damien's it's kind of weird because Finn was like the head of like he's the one that started Bullet Club, but still like it just sucks. But I will say this. Rhea Ripley is so over right now that she just made Liv Morgan the top heel female wrestler in the WWE.
Yeah, even though Liv's supposed to be a babyface right now, it's like she's basically been turned heel because she cut like the promo she cut later was like just like very heelish, where it's just like, why are people feeling sorry for her? She got exactly what she deserved after what she did to me. It's karma.
She's right. There's footage,
but she's so, even though she's supposed to be healed, she's just so beloved right now. She's basically like they treat her like a babyface. So it's like, so I think they might go somewhere with that with Liv. We'll see. Apparently she sprained her AC joint in her arm there. It looks like the best guess is that what had happened is that when she was brawling with Liv on last week's Raw, there was a
against the wall.
She slammed her shoulder and arm into the wall, and that's probably where it happened.
Yeah.
Just a freak thing. Don't pour hate on Liv Morgan. It's like Ripley and nobody else in WWE blames her. Stuff happens.
If they blame Liv, they wouldn't have had the segments and putting Liv in this position.
Exactly. They're going to build off it and use it to help further their feud anyway. So
right.
So she's gonna. It takes like. It sounds like she's gonna be out about 3 to 4 months, at least.
What do you think? Like when people were saying, like, why did you just take the title off of her if she's only out 3 months? But
I
Roman.
saw people bitching and moaning because they were doing the comparison with Seth.
I have my opinion, but I want to give the floor to you on this.
Okay,
I think
there's a big difference. There's a big difference. They knew Seth could be able to recover in time to be able to perform at Mania, and they didn't want to have more monkey wrenches thrown into their Mania plans, so that's why they didn't take the title off Seth. It's like it's not WrestleMania season right now,
and he didn't wrestle for like 2 months because you built a 2-month WrestleMania.
Yeah, there's a big difference. It's not a man versus woman thing. It was a totally different circumstances, and also it was WrestleMania. It's like they were not going to let WrestleMania get fucked up even more with everything that already happened. So, and plus he was able to. There was a quick recovery time for what was going on with his knee, because he was back in the ring before Mania even happened. So it's like, so it's a totally different thing. It's not a fair comparison.
Plus, with Seth's situation, like we pretty much knew he was going to lose at Mania. Like if he was going to be CM Punk, and then his knee got hurt, and then CM Punk kind of got hurt, so it's kind of like if they both kind of like was a bam bam, right? Like kind of right that happened, and then but his knee was fine enough to get there. And guess what's happening right now? Seth is taking a lot of time off, and so is his wife. Because she's dealing with the.
Actually, Becky said that was bullshit on Twitter.
Oh, okay. So she's not taking time off.
She goes, she's on the European tour, and she's probably gonna be on Raw because
because of Rhea being out.
She goes, everyone on social media apparently thinks I'm taking time off, but I'll see you guys this weekend on the European tour. So she basically took pot shots at that, saying, yeah, that's bullshit.
Okay, Seth desperately needs it. So
no, he's nursing a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff.
Becky's perfectly fine.
Yeah, but I don't. Here's the one thing with Becky.
Also, she's doing her book tour as well. That's
right. If I just give Liv the title at this point. Because
honestly, no. I'm sorry. I actually don't want Liv to have the title.
Okay.
I don't think that. I think that would be a mistake.
Okay. Who would you want? Do you want just Becky to have it over until Rhea comes back? Because that's just that's a hot shot.
Let me put it this way: it's nothing against Liv. I like Liv as a performer and a wrestler. Last time she was a women's world champion was dog shit.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that? When she was feuding with Ronda?
Yeah, it was not good.
No, it was not good. And not because of the magic. It was the creative. I nothing against her. It's like they need someone who has credibility. The only two people they may put it on her. I think that the other two better options are either Becky or actually Nia Jax. And I never thought I'd say Nia Jax, but she's put in the fucking work since she's come back.
Yeah, I'm kind of with him. It's just like at this point, like she is the one that people like give her the title. I don't care how terribly how bullshit she wins it, but because she is the top heel, she overtook Nia as the top heel based on the fact of this injury because Rhea is so over. You can't not put her on it and make her I can't because it's so hard have a baby face as a champion and keep that title reign going. Whereas because every time it's like I want to have them keep it, whereas it's a lot easier to book a really good heel, and this is all on Liv. If you don't cash in on this heel work, then yeah, I can't back you. But if you,
that's just my opinion. Like I said, that's just my opinion. I don't think putting it on her would be the right move, but they may do it. It's like,
I don't think they were planning on doing it. And then she got hurt, and then things happen, and
There's only 3 real options because unfortunately the rest of the women's division has not been built up very well on Raw recently, and it's like I will be the first to admit that. That's why I think the draft is a good thing because they really need to reshuffle the women's rosters on Raw and SmackDown because SmackDown's got more stronger roster than Raw right now, especially people who are over, and that's obviously part of this booking. I mean, Shayna and Zoe Stark going nowhere. It's like, you got all the teams in the tag division not doing much. Candice, they got something going on, but they're not anywhere near the title scene. So really at this point, Becky, Nia, or Liv are the only viable people to put the belt on until Rhea comes back.
I'm very mad at GIF right now because I was getting ready to have this rebuttal because the son of a bitch stole my line.
I don't think she's getting called up.
I don't know. No, there's only one person that can save us. Okay,
of course
one. We want to be 2 belts rocks. That's never happened before. No female has ever won at the same time. I don't remember it. Do you? No. Okay.
But it's like that she needs to spend time on the show because there's people on the main roster who have not watched NXT.
I know. So I'm aware, man. I'm aware. Like I'm just being biased.
I know you would love that to happen, but it's not realistic.
No, I think Perez will be called up, GIF. I just don't think it's time for Perez to be called up because that women's division needs that women's division. Let's see what they do with the North American because Perez needs to stay there as the top female.
Yeah.
Right now, then you can. I'm just mad they still haven't called it the not Roxanne Perez North American title, but that's beside the point.
Ilya. The only people I'm absolutely positive are going to get drafted to Raw or SmackDown are Ilya and Carmelo.
I mean, Carmelo's going to get drafted, but is it just like, do you bury your champ or do you do like a Kevin Owens thing?
What do you mean bury?
Because you know how like Karrion Kross was like the NXT champ, and then they did the whole bull crap.
No, Ilya's not going to get buried. What are you worried about? It's like this is the Triple H era. If it was under Vince, I'd be worried about Ilya.
Oh no, Ilya's been booked. I mean, I love that match between him and it's a strong style versus British strong style. Like it was great.
No, they're going to put
I love that.
They're going to put the belt on Trick because as soon as they made the stipulation, as soon as Ilya put the stipulation, all right, I'll give you another shot, but if you lose, you're out. You're gone from NXT. That's what I was like. Okay, Trick's winning because Trick is not getting called up yet. He still needs to marinate a little bit more in NXT.
Yeah, and and someone else
is really fucking over, but he can still improve in the ring.
Oh no,
Trick, he's not like great level like Ilya and Carmelo are.
Yeah, it sucks to say, but I agree with you. Just keep Trick in NXT. He needs to marinate a little bit more.
Give him a title run. Let him have a run at the top. There's plenty of good other talent in NXT that can challenge him for the title. So.
I'm sorry. We'll talk about his wrestling skills. They're not as bad as this one dude.
Anyway, we're getting off track with.
yeah. Anyway, DIY. DIX or whatever in like the new tag team championships. What do you
Triple
think
H,
about
you better be putting the titles on them soon because I'm getting tired of getting cock teased, and I'm not joking.
that? Yeah, I know. You gotta put them on there. And then the new tag belts. I love them.
I like them. I like how they look. It's the same kind of design going with the world titles. That I like that uniformity. So they look good. They're much better than we. It's like a lot of people, including us, have been begging for those tag titles to get ditched for a long time.
I didn't like the copper ones, and then they just painted silver. And I never liked it.
I look forward to seeing what the new ones Waller and Theory are going to get tomorrow night. On SmackDown.
There was a leak one. I don't think it's correct. Of like the big W, it's still circled, like it's still a circle belt, but it's the big W with blue. And I don't think that's right. Like how the world title is with like gold and the W and stuff like that. I don't know.
Yes. RP choice our belts. Thank God.
Yeah. But on that, but no.
One last thing about Gift mentioned this earlier. I think the only person who's going to have a face turn is going to be Priest. Because there's been subtle hints for a while. I mean, it's like with Rhea gone, there's going to be real problems with the Judgment Day. It's going to start to really fall apart.
Yeah.
I mean, it was very telling. Priest got in there, was staring down Jay. The Wrestling Judgment Day jumps Jay, beats the shit out of him. He does not participate.
He didn't look happy about it.
He didn't look happy about it either. So it's like they're sowing seeds for Demon to go face. The fans really like him too. It's like it's like so it makes sense.
I mean that 8-minute video about when in his WrestleMania.
No, that whole video about his journey coming to WWE and everything. That's what you do for a babyface.
Yep.
Not for a heel.
Nope. Not for
so
a heel.
They're setting him up for a face turn that's coming.
I'm not mad about it. I'm glad Damien's getting the spotlight. He's definitely earned it for sure.
Yeah. Also, put that on a t-shirt. That was.
Speaking about that, before we move on to Sammy and Gargano, not Sammy and Gargano, but Sammy and Gable. So the new top there, how I think it's PWI always releases the top 10 merch shirts. So there was like 3 CM Punks, a couple Cody Rhodes, The Rock, and then Yeet in blue, Yeet in black, like those shirts. So yes, Jey Uso's Yeet. I'm surprised, and you realize they realize how much of a cash cow that Yeet shirt was when someone got copyrighted it, and then they immediately got it back within like a week. You don't do that legally and spend all that legal money in a week to get it done unless it's going to make a lot of money.
Quick thought on Sheamus' return. Happy to see him back. Looked good. Good match against Ivar.
Why is Ivar go from like a cool badass Viking guy in NXT to back to being a Viking?
Yeah, Sheamus has said in some interviews that came out this past week that this is like his last run. It's like he's eyeing retirement in the near future. And it would be cool to see him win the IC title because it is the only title in WWE he has not won. He has won every other title. He's won the Rumble. He's it's like he's won Money in the Bank. The only thing to he wants to put a cap on his career is IC title. That's why he fought so hard to try to take it from Gunther when he's champion. And we had banger matches as a result. So I hope to see it happen before he retires.
The dude's just a worker, man. Like you look up worker in the dictionary, it's him and Cesaro basically, right next to each other, like the bars.
I don't know. We need to see him on commentary. I don't see him being a commentary guy.
I did like how people were kind of giving some stuff. The internet came out, talked about his physique or whatever, and he said 2 things. He said, "No, I'm just big boned." Number 1. On response to that.
I'm big bone.
Right, exactly, the Cartman thing, and then also too, people showed pictures of Sheamus's recovery about his neck and all the stuff he had to go through. Is if you had to go through all this just to get back in the ring and you're not top physique, go F yourself. I'm just glad to see Sheamus back with his old music too. Even though Pat McAfee called it Fight Night, we're trying to get past the Brawling Brute stuff. on that.
Yeah, no, the Brawling Brutes is over with. So
Yeah,
it's like
it's over with. And and then let's just is there anything else before we move on to Sammy and Chad and the greatest entrance in Raw history?
let me see. Looking at
Andrade, Candice LeRae, they were fine.
Andrade beat Dom. It's like he's becoming a new thorn in Judgment Day's side. That's not going to help things.
Mm-hmm.
The women's tag matches were criminally short. It's like that's kind of annoying.
Well, they're still they Maxine is just not good right now. She's not, and they're helping her.
Honestly, I hope that she gets drafted down to NXT. She needs some time in NXT. She needs
a lot.
She needs
and it's nothing against Maxine.
No.
Them putting her in that situation. She's trying. Yeah.
Also, as we'll talk about with what Gable does, I'm wondering about what the future of the rest of Alpha Academy is going to be with Gable going back to heel. So, but this main event.
That's why I'm keeping the Creed brothers away from bringing up because of this match and how the theories are going around with the Creed brothers and Chad Gable. Basically,
no,
I don't think it's going to happen.
They just got there and they're over. They're just starting to get them over as babyface. Turn them heel would make no fucking sense.
Is the dark haired brother? That one always stands out to me. The leaner one.
Julius, yeah, because
Julius.
He's an athletic freak.
Yeah, but I think the Creed brothers are so freaking good in the ring.
Giff and I have been singing Julius's praises for last year before he got called up.
Yeah, Julius is the singles. He is the Scott Steiner of the Creed brothers. As far as that, but go ahead with the Gable and
this main event would deliver it as we expected to be between these two, but the one shot. This was quite the one shot. First, they're following Jay.
Right.
He's in the back. High five fans, everything. They follow him as he walks outside, finds Sammy. They chat, and then it follows Sammy as he goes in to go and walk into the arena through the crowd to his match. And he's high-fiving people, getting everything pumped up. The fans are going nuts. Absolutely fantastic. One of the coolest entrances we've seen in Raw a long time.
Dude loves throwing trash cans.
Yeah. This match delivered. I like a lot of people, I had a feeling like, oh man, this feels like a Gable Who turn is going to happen when he loses his match, and that's exactly what happened. But it worked. Because he got the heat. It's like the brilliant part was he attacked Sammy while he's in the middle of hugging his wife. That's how you get heat. It's like that was dastardly. He literally ripped Sammy out of the arms of his wife and German suplexed him. It's like that's heel. It's like, and then the whole ankle lock in the ring post with the and. That's how the show went off the air. The referee was trying to get him to stop, but he wasn't, and it's like it faded to black with him still torturing Sammy. So it's like,
yeah, no. We've been I've wanted heel Chad for a while. Still don't agree with.
That's how Alpha Academy started. Remember?
No.
When started Alpha Academy, they were heels.
Right, but it was dumb heels. Like it was just fodder. That's
the
only thing.
But then the thank you and the shoes got so over that they ended up turning them face.
When they put Otis, and then they had the whole because Otis that's the one thing I do miss is Otis is just I like Otis. He's got a great person. He's okay and he's fine enough in the ring. He's never going to be he could be he's a mid Carter at best. But he's got there's a reason that Otis is still in the company and not his other.
They had a chance maybe to get him to the next level with the Mandy thing, but because of Vince.
Because Vince wakes up the next day and forgot what he did the day before, and then just that's not good shit anymore. Anyway, but yeah, no, I don't. Where do they go with this with Chad?
Right. Well, what's going to happen?
Because Sammy has beat him, and then he's going to come back and face him again.
I don't know. I guess we'll find out next week.
So,
but with the draft coming up, who knows?
Yeah. And Chad's got to get better. Has to get different music from the Alpha Academy
I'm sure
at this point.
And it'll be interesting to see. I don't see the rest of Alpha Academy going heel right now. So it's like
the Chad is great.
He might break away from them.
I mean, he at this point he is. Like, when's the last time you saw him with Tozawa and Otis?
Yeah, no, they have. They
and Maxine
they,
was with
that's
with
why
Niall.
that's why I think Alpha Academy, the rest of Alpha Academy, is going to stay babyface because he has not been. They've been out doing a lot of stuff without him for quite a while. So they were prep. They've been prepping this for a bit. You know, this wasn't like a recent decision. It's like they've been planning that this heel turn for a bit. So
I mean, obviously, like the next thing is going to be kind of like what AJ did with the rest of the OC, where they basically like can kind of confront Chad and just be like, "Why? What's going on? Like, you've been helping us this whole time." And
the Chad is great.
Yeah, the Chad is great. The Chad is wise. But they're gonna have Otis and Tozawa and Maxine, and they're just gonna be like, "What you've been helping Sammy, and then you just do that? Like, what? This isn't you." And they're gonna have that type of. I think they will. That way they can fully separate the two.
Yeah.
With that, but dude, that entrance was cool.
Dope. Very
dope.
Dope.
So good. On that. Anything else on Raw?
Also,
your boy with kicking the TV and all that stuff.
Yeah, just a quick bit with McIntyre this week. Just showing that he's really uber pissed at Punk right now. So it's like it's gonna be very because Punk's gonna be back for the draft, I think. He's gonna be back. He's gonna be back on TV sometime soon. So he better have eyes in the back of his head because Drew's going to be coming for his ass.
That's the feud we all wanted.
I can't wait.
We thought we wanted Seth versus CM Punk. Mm-hmm. Nah, we want this first. Seth, heal up, buddy. CM Punk, heal up.
Yes.
McIntyre, don't injure him. CM Punk, don't get injured again.
McIntyre, don't leave, please.
Yeah. I mean, Seth and Becky, technically.
Yeah. I'm not worried about Seth and Becky leaving.
No. Why would McIntyre leave?
Becky is acting like someone who's not leaving WWE anytime soon.
No, but why would McIntyre leave? You see how AEW's booking?
They're giving him the best. He's been doing the best work of his career,
right?
With this heel, ever since the heel turn started, and it's only gotten better with the CM Punk stuff.
Unless he just really wants to make a whole, like he's in that Scott Hall phase of I got enough friends, I just want to make a lot of money. Like that's it. But I just don't see McIntyre being that way because he was coasting his whole life. He's worked his ass off to get to this
point. There's no room in AEW for him right now.
No. He'd just be another guy. I don't know. Anyway, let's move on to speaking about Dynamite. Let's move on to Dynamite.
All right, here we go with a recap of what happened on this week's episode of AEW Dynamite. Show opened with Jon Moxley come out the ring to a big reaction, holding on to his newly won IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. He won for New Japan Pro Wrestling. Cut a promo talking about winning the title, and then turned his attention to the actions of Don Callis family recently, trying to take out his friend Bryan Danielson ahead of his dream match against Will Ospreay at AEW Dynasty, and basically sent a warning to them. Mercedes Moné cut a promo backstage, vowing to find out whoever attacked her last week. She assumes it's Julia Hart, but she thinks maybe someone's trying to frame Julia to make her think it is. Even considers that Willow Nightingale may be involved. Then we had originally was supposed to be a mixed tag as Adam Copeland and Willow Nightingale teamed up against the House of Black in the form of Brody King and TBS champion Julia Hart. But after Adam came out, it was shown backstage that someone had attacked Willow from behind and hurt her as Chris Statlander and Sylvie Hathaway were attending to her. So Adam was alone against Brody in almost like a handicap match. Eventually, Willow recovered, came out, even when took it to Brody King. But during the chaos, Julia bashed Willow in the face with a steel chain wrapped around her fist, knocking her cold, and then put her in the Heartless for House of Black to pick up the victory. They continued the beatdown afterwards, but Mercedes came out with a steel chair to chase Julia Hart off. Shut about attacking Willow, but decided chose not to, and showed respect to Adam Copeland before leaving. Then we had the Elite Okada and the Young Bucks taking on Daniel Garcia, Pac, and Penta in a 6-man tag. Lots of fun action here. But the Elite picked up the victory with Okada hitting Garcia with the Rainmaker, and they proceeded to beat the crap out of Garcia to send a message to FTR since Garcia has befriended them last few months and to send them a message. But Pac was able to cover, got his hands on his trusty hammer from the Timekeeper, and chased off the heels. Then we had a meeting brokered by Taz for Chris Jericho Cook to work out the differences in the ring. Jericho basically saying that Hook's not ready and that he needs Jericho's mentorship. Definitely acting very heelish, dissing Taz a couple times. Taz trying to tell him to stop, but kept getting his face. Eventually, he shoved Taz away. That pissed Hook off, and he told Jericho to get out of the ring, and Jericho backed off without a fight. And it was revealed there that they would face off for the FTW title at the pay-per-view. Then we had Deonna Purrazzo taking on Mariah May. Deonna picked up the victory. Tony and Mariah attacked her afterwards. That brought out Thunder Rosa to make the save. Deonna and Thunder Rosa got a little jaw jacking. She didn't appreciate her coming up to help, but got attacked by Mariah. And while she was doing that, Thunder Rosa trapped Tony and took out some lipstick and basically drew all over Tony's face as payback for what happened last week. The Bullet Club Gold was interviewed in the back, challenging the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass to a match at Dynasty with both sets of trios titles on the line. And, of course, the Acclaimed accepted. That's going to be on the pre-show. Then we had Orange Cassidy taking on Shane Taylor. No surprise, Orange Cassidy picked up the victory. After the match, Shane Taylor and his allies, Goto and Cassidy, and Lee Moriarty, attacked for the beatdown. Christopher Daniels and Matt Sydal tried to run up and make the save, but they were attacked by Trent Beretta with a steel chair to prevent them from helping Orange, allowing Shane Taylor and company to destroy Orange Cassidy and leave him lying in a heap. They got a recap of what's going on with Roderick Strong and Kyle Riley recently, and how Roddy attacked Kyle on this weekend on Collision. And so now those two will be facing off in an international title match at Dynasty. Good stuff. Then we got to the main event match everyone was looking forward to. Claudio Castagnoli taking on Will Ospreay. As you expect, these two beat the bejesus out of each other. Awesome moment where Claudio put Ospreay in the swing, but Ospreay was able to get out of it by reaching out far enough to grab Claudio and hitting a tornado DDT to counter. That was dope. In the end, Ospreay was able to hit Claudio with the hidden blade, pick up the victory. After the match, Don Callis' family ran down to attack Claudio after the match. Ospreay was not involved in that. That brought out Moxley to make the save. And he and Powerhouse had to stare down in words as the Don Callis family retreated. Then we got the final ending segment of the show as Swerve Strickland came out to call out Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe came out even though he was trying to hold back by security. Two got into it. They brawled. Samoa Joe got the better of it and hit him with the Muscle Buster to lay him out and to stand tall as Dynamite came to a close. And so I got one more show before AEW Dynasty this weekend on Collision. So that's all that happened on this week's episode, AEW Dynamite.
All right, two things. Number one, did last week help viewership for this week? We don't know yet.
Word is that the ratings went back down again this week. This is for
Okay. Okay, figured that. Number two, Will Ospreay is the best in-ring wrestler right now, by far.
He's on another fucking level right now, boys and girls.
There's
really
good,
over.
there's good in ring
He's
wrestlers.
over.
There's good storytellers. Then there's Will Ospreay. Whatever he is whatever that is, I've never seen. I'm not even saying that lightly. I've never seen what Will Ospreay can do in the ring. The only thing that he is lacking, and is the most 0.0001 thing I could say bad about him, is his selling ability. I wish it was a little bit more. That's it. But what him and Claudio just did in this wrestling match is something that I will probably go back and watch multiple times and still smile. Because how the hell the strength, athleticism, and story that they just told in that main event was awesome, and we got to see it for free television. It was nuts. Justin, I'll give you the floor on that match.
The match was fucking dope, as we expected it to be. They beat the shit out of each other, as I thought they would, and it was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's what needs to be said. it was great.
It was so good.
That was the fact that he was able to extend himself enough to get out of the giant swing by giving him a fucking DDT was awesome.
And then they went through that I forget exactly all the moves they did. It was kind of like that Jeff Hardy RVD stuff. You know how you used to do that? And then they just end up looking at each other. And then everyone just kind of clapped a little bit, like those type of standoffs.
Yeah. Ospreay versus Danielson is gonna be a classic match.
Yeah, you thought this was good. Wait for that. But I just think it just stinks because this is the type of stuff that AEW can do, and I just still feel like you keep hurting yourself. You're taking 2 steps forward. You're taking 1 step forward and 2 steps back a lot.
Yeah, I mean, this show was definitely better than last week.
Oh yeah,
there's still some issues going on. Yeah, I don't know how I'm feeling the same way that he is. I never thought I'd do this on the Orange Cassidy, but I'm. It's just like they really need. It feels like they're really dragging out this stuff with Trent. It's like we need an explanation for the heel turn. It's like stop dragging that out. We need him to cut a fucking promo and explain why. Because otherwise, I'm really not really invested in that right now. And the stuff with Jericho Hook it's like the segment really worked because he came off as a really heelish and stuff like that. But I it's so hard because it's like I'm an OG Jericho fan.
Oh yeah, I put him on Mount Rushmore.
It's like I became a fan when he was in WCW. Right away, but just before he did the stuff with his feud with Malenko, and then Ralphus and mocking Goldberg that got him over, despite what Eric Bischoff and them how they treated him in WCW. So I'm an OG Jericho holic. It's like, but at this point, it's like Jericho's really. It's like it's kind of like it's like, dude, I need you to go away for a while because it's like every time you're on TV, I just don't care. And I never thought I'd say that about Chris Jericho.
It's sad because, like I told you, he's on my Mount Rushmore. Like I remember him in the power, like him in the
one of my favorite wrestlers
episodes.
of all time.
Yeah, like he would reinvent himself, and then everything he would do would just be entertaining as hell. And I couldn't wait to watch Jericho in the ring on like anything he did. He was like kind of the OG kind of CM Punk type of thing of like he was just good at every little thing that you would put him in. He would make it happen. He would make it work. He would put it over. Now it's just like you're forcing it, and I've never thought I'd say that about Jericho. It is forced. Yeah. You're just basically just like, hey, ever since that stuff came out about him, he just lost steam like no other. He was already losing steam, and that just floored him. But they're still trying to push him because they're paying him so much damn money, and there's no telling how much.
Yeah.
If he has that Hogan deal that Hogan had in WCW,
and Joey's not going to do that to him because he was really important in the early days of AEW to help establish the promotion. With his name alone, it's like
that goes back to Tony. Tony's a good guy. Doesn't mean he's a good boss. Like sometimes you've gotta. Yeah. Even Ricky Starks came out, was like, Tony's like the coolest dude, blah, blah, blah. But never says he's the coolest. He's a good boss. He puts me in a good position. Blah blah blah. Because Ricky Starks is going to be in WWE, guys. I will lay money on it. I will give somebody a crisp $5 bill in the next 12 months if Ricky Starks, unless I don't know it because I don't know his contract. But if his contract comes up within the next 12 months, Ricky Starks will be a WWE superstar. And it has nothing to do with Tony Khan as a person.
And he's like not being used on TV right now. He's like in Nowheresville.
We say that way too many times, and this is okay. So I'm glad AEW exists. I'm so glad.
It's like I want AEW to do well, but it's like there's still stuff where it's just like, come on, man, Tony, stop doing that. Because there's other good stuff that they're doing, like the Swerve.
That Swerve stuff is awesome.
It's been great. The build to the stuff between Danielson and Ospreay leading up to their match has been good.
Yeah.
I've even liked the whole the stuff between Bullet Club Gold and the Acclaim. It's like I like how that's gone. I'm definitely wondering what's going to happen with Julia Hart Willow. I'm wondering if Stokely and Chris Statler are going to turn on Willow at any second at this point, because it's like they're high on my suspect list about all the shenanigans are going on between Willow getting attacked and also Mercedes getting attacked. So it's like, exactly. So where it's like, I just don't know if she's going to beat Julia because it's like, do they want to put? Because Mercedes coming for the title, Mercedes going to get the title. It's just who's going to give it to her. I don't. There's
who
no
attacked Mercedes?
Yeah, they're not going to put it. That would be a disservice to Willow if she wins the title and then she just jobs to Mercedes at the next pay-per-view, because it's already been declared that Mercedes has next, and whoever wins between Julia and Willow is facing Mercedes at Double or Nothing.
And that's why that would make more sense because of the Willow Mercedes thing that already happened because of the injury.
Yeah, but I'd rather not see her hold the title for such a short time.
Mm-hmm. Whoever wins is going to lose to Mercedes. You don't you don't pay one of the greatest female wrestlers of all time that much money and then have her job her first match back.
And the other thing that I'm worried about is that I don't know if it's I don't know if it's just me, but it doesn't seem like Thunder Rosa is as over as she used to be. And that ever since she came back, it's like I'm kind of worried about that. Also, she's been kind of like hit and miss in the ring. There's been times where she's looked at, other times she's kind of like looked like she still a little off. So that's why I'm worried about this match between her and Tony at the pay-per-view.
Thunder Rosa's work will never be as good as her and Britt. She'll never have she'll never have that chemistry. I don't know why. She should have chemistry. I feel like she's that good. But I just don't think that her and Britt tore the house down multiple times. Yeah. But other than that, that's what I'm saying. Like you have a good point about Thunder, and I'm big with her. And they like a lot of their other shows really did dumb shit about burying Thunder Rosa as like an off-screen, they thought she was, they then painted her as like an asshole off-screen, which she might be. I don't know personally, but I just think that was kind of a bad way to go unless it was true. Because
I'll say a little more on that when we go over the Dynasty card anyway.
Right.
But let's see. As far as anything else on the show,
That's Swerve jumping off the top rope and then still landing. And
yes,
I fucking love Swerve.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that Swerve is so good. Yeah.
Yeah, because Cole can't be on TV right now because he's trying to. It's like it. Apparently, him doing all those appearances on TV slowed his.
He can't even like move. Because you exactly what you were saying. It was a report that came out. It's like he can't even travel because it's that's hurting his ankle healing.
Yeah.
Like it's damn. It just him making a bad step is just destroyed his ankle that bad. It just sucks.
I feel so bad for Adam Cole because I love him dearly. His entire AEW run has been like a snake bite. It's been snake bitten. It's like just when he looks like he's gonna get to that next level, something happens to him. He gets injured. Yeah. There was the concussion he suffered at Forbidden Door. that 2 years ago that put him on the show for quite a while. He came back. The stuff with the MJF was amazing, and then Freak breaks his ankle, and he's been out for quite a while now. It's been more than 6 months. I think it's getting close to 8 months.
He's like my top 5 like best new era wrestlers, and
I tell you what,
sucks.
Triple H, HBK are when his contract is up.
That is their boy.
They're going to do everything they can to convince him to come back to WWE.
That I'll always go back to that segment.
And he's going to be really tempted to do so because Triple H is in charge now. It's not Vince. It's like if he goes back, he's going right to the top.
There's a Triple H boy. There's a Triple H guy. There's a Shawn Michaels guy, and then there's their guy. Adam Cole is their guy. Remember that SmackDown where it was Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson, and they were like teasing that it was Shawn Michaels, and they were like, "Oh no, I'm retired. I'm sorry." And like he zipped his jacket back up, and like, "You ready, champ?" And like they both looked at him. I was like, "That's cemented that's their guy, not just one person's guy. That's their guy."
Yeah. Yeah, the only reason he left is because Vince was still in charge, and he's got
he wanted to make him Keith Lee's manager
with his friends.
Yeah, he wanted to work with his friends. He wanted to work with his future wife, which I'm surprised he hadn't posed a question.
He would have not been able to go anywhere when Vince was in charge on the main roster.
He was gonna be Keith Lee's manager when he got called up, kind of like
he literally is. He literally is, Kev.
Yeah. Oh, dude, he would.
And he still talks to them regularly, even though he works at AEW. He says that he keeps in touch with Triple H and HBK. Yeah. So it's like Triple H is going to do everything he can to convince Cole to come back when his contract is up.
Yeah. The reason Cole left is it was timing. It was all timing. It was just timing. And now I'm thinking it's going to be a shift before we move on to the. Is there anything else with this before I go to?
No, I'll save more. We can talk more about when we go over the Dynasty card.
Okay. So the last thing I'll say about Adam Cole and just how the industry is right now before we go to that card.
Yeah, no, the Undisputed Kingdom is not in a good spot.
No,
right now.
They're not in a good spot at all. And anyway, so where the industry was is like when Vince was there making no sense at all, changing stuff on the fly. And it just nothing was, nothing made sense. And then AEW started, let a match under WWE, which was great. and so everyone wanted to flock to AEW, and like all the fans were like, "Oh, put them in AEW, put them in AEW. Think of the matches, think of the matches." And now that Triple H and like as we've seen the past year and a half to 2 years, where Vince McMahon has basically gotten totally out of it, and you see how certain things been booked correctly, and now you're saying, "Oh, think about this person WWE. Think about this person WWE." Do you think we're going to run into the same issue that happened with AEW, and they had way too much talent, and it's going to drive down the talent that's coming up because they're bringing in all the talent that's already there? That's the question that I'm putting because it's a weird roller coaster, and it's a cool time to be. This is the best time I've ever think since like 2003. Of being a wrestling fan, that we're going to run into that same issue that AEW has been dealing with having too many people on the roster and too many chiefs, basically. I think they're going to WWE and Triple H is kind of being good about it, but he might end up being that way to where he brings in too many good, solid wrestlers and there's just not enough time. That's the question that I've always been that I'm seeing right now that is trending is Miro goes back over. Okay, well, what do you do with Miro?
Right.
Adam Cole goes back over. Well, we figure we're going to but then what happens to X, Y, and Z? What happens to Ricochet if Adam Cole goes back over?
Right.
So it's like there's a where's the positive and who contributes. I'm making my words wrong, but like who takes a back seat when you bring over X person? Yeah. Unfortunately, that's just how it works. Mm-hmm. So what like you get like I know we're like an hour 40 in. We need to go over NXT and the card. for Dynasty, but that's the thing that's I should have gone over the first thing, but it just now popped in my head as we're going over AEW and with the defections that we're thinking is going to happen.
Yeah. It's like yeah, and also MJF not being on TV. It's like MJF, Adam Cole, and Kenny Omega not being on TV is definitely isn't helping. Like they're their best guys. It's like So still it was a much better show. I thought it was a solid show. See how things will happen on Collision, which will be the final show before pay-per-view on Sunday. So much better than last week.
All right. So let's go over this Dynasty card real quick, and then we'll finish up with NXT. So we got the
pre-show. There's one match on the pre-show confirmed, and that's I don't think it should be on the pre-show. It's the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass versus Bull Club Gold.
Okay, because in the rundown I was like, that's like I knew that was in the pre-show, but it was up on the card. So
So the AEW and ROH Trios titles are all on the line, so winner take all. A lot of people have been calling this that it was gonna be a winner take all match. I never thought I'd say this, but I don't want the Acclaim to win.
I want Bull Club Gold.
I want Bull Club Gold.
You've been screwing Jay White's run so bad. Put everything on him.
And it's like they really botched the Acclaim, man. They were so red hot, and then they took the titles off them.
Well, Max Caster didn't help it.
No. I mean, the fans still like them, but they're not as red hot over as they once were.
No pun intended, but they miss Juice.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to when Juice Robinson gets back.
Yeah.
So I'm pulling for Bull Club Gold to win that match. Mm-hmm. But it should not be that match. That feud's been building for so long. It doesn't deserve to be on the pre-show.
No,
the match that does, but it won't because it's Jericho. It's Jericho Hook for FT title, which is probably the only match on the card I give two shits about.
And I don't know who said it on our Discord. It was either Giff or Jeremy, but they both were like, when you said like, why is that on the pre-show?
Giff brought this up earlier. I could see that happening. We don't know when his suspension is going to end due to the whole concussion thing with Jeff Hardy.
Yeah. But Jericho's never going to, like, I think it was either, Giff, was it you or was it Jeremy that said on a Discord that it should have been this Matt Jericho? Yeah, TNA would get the scraps, yeah. Well, oh gosh, who was the former promoter's name? Scott.
Yeah. Honestly, if Tony was smart, he would bring Scott D'Amore to help him with the booking.
He needs it bad, especially the women's division.
He needs someone.
We've been saying that for a while.
He needs a good mind like Scott's badly right now.
Yeah, and listen to him, Tony. Don't be Vince McMahon. You're about to be that way. Anyway.
So yeah, don't give a crap. I don't care who wins.
Okay, Giff was you. Okay, yes, but Giff did say it should have been Jericho and Hook, but unfortunately on the pre-show. But we knew Jericho was never going to be on the pre-show.
No, he's never going to be on the pre-show. He's too big for it.
No.
So then we have six-man tag: Adam Copeland, Eddie Kingston, and Mark Briscoe taking on House of Black.
That's going to be fun.
That's going to be fun. Not sure who's going to win this though.
No, do not know. You figure Buddy Murphy's probably out. And again, it comes with the TNA's going to get the scraps and stuff like that. Like, Malachi Black is one of Triple H's guys. Buddy Murphy's basically.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that
his mommy's on WWE. So
again, some people may want to go back, but if they go back, is there any room for them to go anywhere if they go back?
It's like, what is?
It depends on what Triple H says. It's like, we'll see.
And that schedule a little bit different when it comes to the AEW.
Maybe House of Black wins. May give him maybe a little more. I don't know. This feud is only just started, so I wouldn't mind if House of Black won.
Yeah. Give him Brody's singles run. Oh, yeah. Brody needs a TNT title. Again.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right. So then we have Let's see here. This was just added recently because Strong turned on Kyle. Battle of the Undisputed Era. Roddy Strong taking on Kyle O'Reilly for the International Championship match.
I doubt this is going to be as bad as Jimmy versus Jay, as far as a brother versus brother.
Yeah, because they're not they're like brothers, but they're not like brothers. This match should be really good. Roddy just got the title, so he's definitely going to win.
Yeah, no, Roddy's going to win that
one. Then we have a match that has high potential to hit banger level. Okada versus Pac for the Continental Championship. That match is going to kick ass. They're gonna wreck each other. It's going to be fun. But Okada's going to win.
Okada
he just got the title. He's not going to drop it to Pac right away. I don't see that happening.
Okada he's smooth, man. You can't.
And he's been doing great work. With the Bucks.
His like charisma and stuff. The way he does, the way he's like,
the stuff he's doing in the ring. I really like the character work he's doing with the heel persona he's got going on.
If you can put over that Rainmaker finisher, which is kind of, I'm not a big fan of it, but he does it very well.
Yeah,
like it's like the dumbed down version of a clothesline from hell, but it works for Okada. And if you can put that over on top of whatever you do, it's Okada, man. It's Okada.
Yeah. So no, Okada and Pac they're gonna tear the house down.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a fun one. All right, then we got crown new tag team champions ladder match. Young Bucks FTR round 4.
FTR. I don't care. FTR.
My heart says FTR, but my mind says no way the Bucks are.
Character work right now is really good, despite the past week's crap, because it has nothing to do with the Bucks. But the Bucks have been doing very good character work.
And of course, there's the possibility that Jack Perry shows up to help the Elite and joins the Elite is what is the big speculation.
With the whole hey, I love your work, scapegoat, and with the wing.
Yeah, no, they've been bringing up Jack with all that stuff too much that something's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, no, I like Shibata using the phone to translate for him. It's funny.
Just don't no. Now a lot of interpreters right now catching a lot of heat. Okay, Shohei Ohtani.
Oh yeah, no, it's like that guy was a douchebag. It's like anyway. After what came out, it's like that he was caught recorded, pretending to be someone else and also Ohtani at the same time on the same fucking phone call.
Yeah, but I know we're getting sidetracked, but still,
anyway.
that was the joke.
So no, I think as much as I want FTR to win the tag titles again, I think the Bucks are going to win this.
Yeah.
All right, then we got TBS title match: Julia Hart defending against Will Nightingale.
I do think Willow's going to win this.
I would like to see Willow win.
I do. I've always liked Julia Hart's run with the House of Black. I think her character work's good. Her in-ring work has gotten better. But Willow's a better wrestler.
And plus,
by far,
the history between Willow and Mercedes,
right?
That's more you can build around than Mercedes and Julia.
Because if Willow beats Julia, it's not going to hurt Julia, where it's going to bury Willow even more. And you already have that money sitting there for the Mercedes Willow.
Yeah, with everything, they could have a killer feud. So
yeah.
So then the other women's championship match for the women's title, Timeless Tony defending against Thunder Rosa. I think Tony's holding on to the title still. I don't see Thunder Rosa dethroning her.
No, I think Tony's going to hold on to it until either Britt Baker comes back,
or Jamie Hayter comes back, because Mercedes is not jumping in that spot right now, and I'm glad that they didn't do that, because that was one thing we were pleading. That's why they're having Mercedes go after the TBS title, because if she was going to go after the world title, then Tony's going to drop to her.
I'm hoping, this is my hope with Dynasty at the end of it, once Tony beats Thunder, Jamie Hayter will music will play,
That would
come
be
out,
nice.
and they'll just have a stare down.
I would like that very much.
Yeah.
She's definitely missed. She's been out since before Wembley last year. It's like it's been quite a while. It sucks for her. So we're hoping that she's going to come back sometime soon.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, this may or may not be the main event. We don't know. Ospreay versus Danielson, the dream match.
It should, because this thing is going to be so.
I don't know
good.
how anyone's going to be able to follow them because they're. It's like if this is not a 5-star level match, people are going to be disappointed. This match is going to be amazing. I can't wait to see what they're going to do. I'm excited.
I can't wait for your highlights because I unfortunately will never.
It's people have been pumped for this match for a while, and it's going to be exciting.
This is going to be,
and they've done a good job building up, especially because they've been using this match to set up Ospreay splitting from the Don Callis family and being full babyface. Mm-hmm. Because the fans, he's so over with the fans right now, they got to get him away from Don Callis family. So I think because he it's like, I think after this match, that's when the split's probably going to happen. They're probably going to turn on him.
Yeah.
So it's coming. And then we have AEW championship match, Samoa Joe defending against Swerve. Swerve better win the title. That's all I'm saying. You got to pull the trigger.
We've been screaming
this
because from the top.
You got to pull the trigger now. Let him have the title for a while because eventually it's going to go to Ospreay at some point in the near future. So give it to Swerve now. Let him try to have a good run with it before it's like him and Ospreay clash sometime later this year, most likely.
Dude, Samoa Joe, unfortunately, and I love Samoa Joe, but he was the means to an end as far as, okay, let's put the strap on him.
He's the reliable veteran to put the title on because it's like MJF had to drop the title because he's injured.
And he wasn't going to drop it in a triple threat match.
I'll tell you, I think it would have been Cole if Cole hadn't got injured.
Oh yeah, for sure. But Swerve is on another. We've been talking about it for months. Yeah. Swerve is on Swerve. Really Swerve's. We were big on Swerve.
Strike. Well, the iron's hot.
Sorry. Yeah, we were big on Swerve, and then when they basically gave the ball to Swerve in that Hangman feud, he went to a different level that we've never seen him, and he has been on that level since then. So like every time Swerve, and we were like, and that's why Swerve was like, I love AEW. Like, no shit, dude, because they let you be you.
Yeah, I think it's going to happen because Joe has been getting most of the side of this feud, especially at what happened to Soho and Angelo. So I think it's good. AEW is about to become Swerve's house with him as AEW champion. That's
they've been back. They've been kind of like how like WWE has been slowly silently backing Cody as the guy. Swerve is. They've been silently he's been on the sidelines for Jaguars games. They would play his music, and he would dance on the sidelines of Jaguars. It's like this is AEW is now becoming Swerve's house.
Yeah.
Like no pun ever, and you have to put it on the belt this time. And it's like it's not like Samoa Joe's like, no, why should I give it? Like Samoa knows business.
Yeah.
Right. And he's another Triple H guy, but he just got injury prone so bad. Like I would want to see him and Brock Lesnar again so bad. They had such good
history. He went back to NXT and he was
Karrion Kross. He made Karrion Kross look good in the ring.
It's like they put the title back on him and he immediately had to drop it because he was injured. It was like, I was like, fuck. Because one of my favorite memes that I got stored is when he choked out Adam Cole with the coquina clutch backstage at NXT when he put his hands on Regal. It's like, no, you're dead now.
Oh man. But yeah, no, it's gonna be. The one thing that AEW always delivers is their pay-per-views.
Yes,
they always their in-ring is always going to be, because like we were talking about like WrestleMania, right? WrestleMania, like there's never going to be a Jimmy and Jay match, typically in an AEW pay-per-view card. which is kind of crazy to say. But yeah, I was kind of agreeing with Meltzer. That was like not even a 1-star match. That was a bunch of super kicks and Jimmy going, and then Jay
It was an
going,
Uso
okay.
super kick party.
Yeah, it was just bad. It just ruined the super kick forever. And I thought the Young Bucks did that. So
No, this pay-per-view card, this Dynasty card is really fucking stacked.
really freaking stacked.
It's I'm looking forward to Sunday night.
Yep.
And boy, am I glad I don't have to work on Monday mornings because I don't have to worry. Because like it's gonna be a long show. Although I have to give Tony credit. We got 1 match on the pre-show and then 8 on the main card. It's like it's not bad. It's like because like used to be like 10 or more matches and I'd just be like, oh my god.
Right.
So it's like I appreciate that he's trying to trim down the pay-per-view.
Yeah. It's
like,
not a 5-hour because
Yeah.
he gives them time.
Yes. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It should be a damn good show on Sunday night.
All right, and let's move on to NXT.
Let's talk about your girl, Roxanne.
Oh, she was on it? Okay.
All right, here's what happened on this week's episode of WWE NXT, live from Fruit Center. We kicked off with Dijak taking on Noam Dar of Metaphor. This was a fun match. Well, I think one of Noam Dar's best in a while, but actually, surprisingly, Noam Dar picked up the victory. Seems like they may be trying to turn Metaphor face. I'm not sure. More on that later. Ilya Dragunov was looking to have an opponent for tonight, and he was told she would help. He basically said that whoever gets into his face and stares him right into the eyes will get the first crack. We got a promo video from Tatum Paxley, basically explaining her turn on Lyra, and it's basically boils down to that she was never really about Lyra. It was about the NXT Women's Championship. That's been her obsession, and so she was willing to help and support whoever had it. But once Lyra lost it, well, she no longer mattered. And now she wants the title for herself and warned Lyra not to get in her way. Pretty effective, I think. So then we had Little Vice taking on Sol Ruka. Not a bad match, but Blair Davenport snuck out and attacked Ruka, allowing Little Vice to pick up the victory. After the match, Natalya appeared on the Tron, the pre-tape promo, saying that she wanted to, in 2 weeks, she was going to challenge Little Vice to an NXT Underground match. Then we had Joaquin Wilde taking on Ridge Holland as a revenge for attacking him last week. But Ridge Holland picked up the victory. Sean Spears was in the aisleway watching the match and had a nice smile on his face, approving of Ridge's new violent tendencies. We got vignettes during the show as Ariana Grace tried to do her pageant clean makeover shtick with Gigi Dolan, taking her shopping to try to get her good clothes. Hijinks. Yeah. Josh Briggs ran into Ivar in the back. Ivar telling him to cool his jets. Apparently he had hurt his ribs recently and said that once he takes out Obafemi and wins the North American title, he'll give Briggs the first crack. But Briggs is like, no, I'm going to get my own, wants his own crack at North American champion again. Andre Chase Lee held a little chit chat where she gave him and apologized for being so hard on him when she found out that, and he explained about why what happened with the betting and everything. And then the Angelo family came up to cut a promo. They were directed by the No Quarter Catch crew without Drew Gulak. And there was some back and forth between the two groups, and they ended up getting into a big brawl. So it looks like these two factions are kickstarting a feud here. So Ilya came out for his open challenge. Locker room, bunch of people in the locker room tried to get to Ilya, but Javon Evans literally leapt into the ring and got in Ilya's face, and so he got the opportunity. Evans put up, got to look good even, but Ilya, of course, picked up the victory. Kid's got some good potential, I think. All right. Then we had Tatum Paxley taking on Thea Hale. Tatum picked up the victory thanks to JC Jane attacking Thea behind the ref's back, and Paxley rolled up with a crucifix for the pin. Thea went after JC Jane and had to be held back. And while Tatum was before Tatum could leave the ring, Lyra Valkyria appeared to beat the crap out of Tatum Paxley, wanting to get her some revenge. So Ruckus went to Ava and said she wanted a no DQ match with Blair Davenport next week. Try to settle their beef. Roxanne was interviewed in the back, saying she was perfectly fine to let Tatum and Lyra beat the crap out of each other until see who gets her next crack against her. But Ava said, well, she won't have to wait long because she's making a triple threat match where Roxanne has to defend against Tatum and Lyra at the same time. The Prodigy was not happy about that. Then we had Authors of Pain with the rest of the Last Testament. Keep messing that up. Taking on Edris Enfield and Malik Blade. Well, Authors of Pain, of course, picked the victory with the Super Collider. Axiom and Nathan Razor came up to confront AOP since they targeted them and attacked them after they won the tag titles last week. Ivar took on Josh Briggs. Ivar picked up the victory. With Vebby cutting a promo, watching Ivar. So they're building up toward an Obafemi Ivar match, and I can't wait. Carmelo Hayes cut a promo before the main event, which was, of course, a steel cage match between Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. So a really good match. Carmelo's security goon squad tried to storm the cage to help interfere. All kinds of shenanigans trying to cheat, but in the end, Trick hit his trick knee, knocking a steel chair right into Melo's face to pick up the victory. After the match, Trick got on top of the cage, and Ilya appeared up on the upper deck, and Ilya had a stare down to tease their upcoming title match at Spring Break coming up soon. So that's all that happened on this week's episode of NXT.
Justin, as always, thank you for your breakdowns. I always do this at the end of every show, at least middle of the show. Thank you for all that, all the good work you put in to making the show every week, and it's always a pleasure. But mainly, I want to talk about Sol Roca. She has a lot of momentum right now. Okay, I'm refraining from talking about my baby girl, but still, Sol Roca. And we talked about it last week when they announced the championship. Is she going to be the North American Women's Champion? Is she going to be the inaugural one?
She's definitely a possibility for them to put that belt on. I see her or Thea Hale's high possibilities of winning the Women's North American title.
Just the way they're booking it.
We'll see. Right now, she's going to have that no DQ match with Blair Davenport.
Okay.
Oh, and Roxanne defending against Paxley and Lyra in a triple threat. That's next week on the night one of the Spring Break-In two-parter special.
We'll get to that. Okay. Okay. When it comes to Roxanne, I like to save the golden goose. I like to save the golden goose. Dude, that segment of Ilya having basically a hey, who wants it? Come, the first one in the ring, and the Evans thing. Once Evans finally gets the mic work down, dude's unstoppable.
He's got really good potential. He got to look really good in the ring against Ilya there. I'm liking what I'm seeing from the kid. I'm becoming high on him.
Help me out here. The Misfits, the guy's been injured for a while. And Shawn Michaels really took a liking to him.
Wesley.
Wesley, yeah. He's a bit taller than Wesley, isn't he?
A little bit.
Yeah. But yeah. What's Wesley's comeback time? Have we known about that?
I think within the next few months.
Yeah. Because Evans versus Wesley, Jesus.
Oh God, that would rock.
Yeah. On that. Your thoughts on Noam Dar and all of them defeating Dijak?
I was a little surprised because I love Dijak. I guess they really wanted to try to push Minute 4. I find Minute 4, I found them annoying at first, but they're kind of won me over as a good like comedy kind of group.
Mm-hmm.
I like, especially during the Stand Deliver. I like some of the skits they did. I mean, did you? I mean, you probably got a laugh out of them dressing up in cowboy jerseys when they're in Philly. It's like seriously.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like I don't know. It's like it felt like they were trying to see about trying to turn the face because Dijak is he's still technically a heel, even though the fans are really into him. So it's nice to see where they're going to go with that. That was one of Noam Dar's best matches I've seen him do outside of it's like just a normal regular match because he's done the Heritage Cup for so long. I'm glad he's finally away from that Heritage Cup thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to mention. Basically, Charlie Dempsey them implied that they had Tony D and the family kill Drew Gulak.
I mean, obviously with the Drew
scandal.
And
for those who are wondering, there's a reason why Drew Gulak has been written off TV.
Yeah.
Because apparently he apparently did some acted inappropriately toward Ronda Rousey, and I guess there is legitimacy to it because he is been completely exercised from television and completely exercised from the No Quarter Catch group.
Yep, same thing with this guy that Paul Heyman used to be the advocate for. Kind of the same thing.
Yep.
But Paul Heyman said it, and I'm not. So because once we get big, I don't want someone to come back and cancel Ruckus Wrestling because it's a fun show to do. But all right. So a week ago, I loved Ivar's his presentation coming out, just kind of being like a Viking but biker guy, right?
Yeah.
Character. I wish they would keep it that way. But we saw him against this past week, and he just came out in his own Viking gimmick. I'm sorry. It just, in this new age, you can only do so much. And this is us being, older. We've been through a generation, so we're not 12 anymore, unfortunately. Because if I go back to when I was 12, life would be so much more simple. But in our day and age, right now, it's hard for us to get over like a Viking guy or the Garbage Man or like Paul Heyman was saying. We just want more, just realistic type of characters that we can really grasp onto of being real. Doesn't think that War Machine, for example, that's what they were in ROH.
That's why even though Tony D's doing like a mobster,
I can still
character, it works because it's like that's real life shit. It's
right. And even with like people come back and we're like, oh, what about Bray Wyatt and Fantastical? Like there's cults, and it's that freaking weird. Like go to a Pentecostal church where they're talking in weird things and having snakes and stuff like that actually exists, so I can get behind that. And like even the Undertaker was presented in a different way. You can never do that again. It's just hard to do what Undertaker was, right? With this like undead wizard that actually was a badass. It's just very hard to do. Joey Gacy tried to do it, didn't really work. But the Viking thing, and especially they just buried the Viking experience and all that stuff bad. And so when they finally did the Viking Raiders, it was like, okay, fine, we'll do that. And they have the paint and stuff like that. I was like, I understand it, but like the most refreshing thing was Ivar coming out last week and confronting the NXT North American champion, which I always forget always get his name wrong. But Noah Femi. And Noah Femi, you got me, dude. Oba Femi, sorry. Oba Femi, you got me, dude. I'm bought in. I can't remember your name, but I'm still bought in on that. But Ivar, when he came out and confronted him, and it was Ivar with the Viking subtleties, but still had like that biker thing. Do that. Just do that and have them fight forever. because I think those two will freaking kill it, and I'm glad that they're doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's my rant because we literally had a really cool version of Ivar, and then on Raw we went back to the Viking thing, and I'm like, no, dude, what you just did on NXT was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So, floor is yours.
I want to talk real quick. I really enjoyed the Tatum Paxley video where she explained her heel turn.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the explanation. It's like looking back, it makes total sense on how she was acting. I thought it was a really brilliant move to reveal that her session wasn't with Lyra; it was with the title, and who's holding the title, and so that's why she turned on her after she lost the title, because she doesn't have the title anymore. So therefore, she's no longer important, and now she wants the title for herself.
Right.
It's like I thought she did a really good job with that. It's like she's done a really good job with this character. It's like coming with the creepy craziness.
The Thea Hell match was really cool with her character work. I really enjoyed that. So it kind of went full psycho, which I know Meltzer had, and we can go into that here in a second. But I'm really enjoying that. All biases aside, I will say this. So going with the triple threat and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I think anything that Roxanne Perez does is the greatest thing since sliced bread. But on your situation, how are you grading her heel work right now?
I'm liking it now.
Okay.
I really liked how I really liked as also especially her being like with like calling out Ava, like, oh, you trying to screw me out of the title, put me into a triple threat where I it's like I can lose a title and I don't without having getting pinned. And Ava with a good comeback. It's like she's acting like a proper heel. It's like it's like
I just want the layers. That's all I've wanted to ever see. Just give me the layers of why.
I think and she's gonna get the time, I think, to add those layers in.
And that's why I'm thinking she's like he was saying, like, oh, move her up to Raw. No. This is the first time she's ever been heel. And you can tell it's very let her sink her teeth.
She's easing into it. She's easing into it.
She's easing into it because on that. Go ahead.
I don't know where the stuff with Gigi Dolan and Ariana Grace is going. I hope it works out for Gigi. It kind of went. I was like, it wasn't like I thought it was going to suck. It didn't suck, but I'm just kind of like, okay, it's kind of like what I expected.
Felt a little forced.
Yeah, it felt a little forced. That was my main problem with it, but it wasn't like completely horrible. So
I'm liking the Chase U stuff though. Once they finally flipped of why it is happening, of like the bets and stuff, even though it's dumb, at least we can make the next step.
Yeah,
figure and make the in that story. Either I don't like that they break up Chase U, but at least we're not.
Now they're building toward Thea and JC Jane having a one-on-one blow off.
Right, and that's but I'm glad that we're at least getting there because it took way too long to get there.
Yeah, and I have no problem with Catch Crew versus the Angelo family. It's like let the two factions let them fight.
No, but we're all agreeing that Trick is going to beat Ilya, right?
Oh yeah. They got to pull the trigger on him now. Especially, as soon as they were showcasing Ilya on Raw ahead of the draft and saying that he was in draft, I was like, okay, no, he's dropped the title.
Okay, so before we get to Trick and Mello,
it's about time. He's main roster ready.
Yeah, before we get to Trick and Mello, and Dave Meltzer's comments, I want to ask you. Okay, so the Authors of Pain are back in NXT.
Yeah,
the Good Brothers are back in NXT. What do we do now?
I don't know.
Because we brought back the Good Brothers.
Because obviously Nathan they're giving Nathan Frazier and Axiom their first big test of tech by sicking the Authors of Pain on them.
Yeah. I'm just okay, but I'm just a big fan. I just like them just even outside the ring. I just love Karl Anderson and Doc Gallows. Yeah. Not as much on the Authors of Pain, but like Authors of Pain are they're the authors of pain. Like, I mean,
Yep.
AOP is AOP. But it's just kind of same when I brought up. It was like there's just too much talent. So what do you
Yep.
do? Because you
Yeah.
dropped down the Good Brothers. Were you just bringing down the Good Brothers just to have that one little thing, and then all right, thanks
Yeah,
guys.
that's where I hope that they're still around, because that would have been really weird.
Right.
Because it felt like they were building toward Wolf Dogs versus Good Brothers, and it didn't happen.
No.
And now with the draft, Wolf Dog, unless Corbin and ends up on the same show that Braun does, we might maybe get Wolf Dogs back. I don't know, but I think they're more. As much as Wolf Dogs was fun, I think the way they've been booking Braun right now on SmackDown, they want to focus on him being pushing him in singles action, which I get.
Yeah,
it's just that the Wolf Dogs is just so much fun.
Oh yeah, there's been a lot of reports just because they didn't realize how over the Wolf Dogs were going to be, that they're probably going to have them have at least a decent run. So Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, he ain't gonna have the belts very long with the Wolf
Also,
Dogs.
apparently him and Baron got really tight doing this tag team work together.
Their chemistry is. Oh my god! I was so happy to be right. I was so happy to be right when it happened.
You were right. Did you see his farewell video after NXT went off the air last week? Where it's like he said Corbin's like one of his best friends. I was like,
yeah. Look, again, Corbin's always been dealt a bad hand, but I know he's good in the ring, and I've seen his personality outside of his character. Obviously, Deadbeat Corbin was probably the best work he's done, but every time he's had a different character, he's done at least good enough for the Vince McMahon era. But because he's so good in the ring, he always put on solid matches. All it take was the right person to get behind Corbin and let Corbin be Corbin. And then finally, they went back to NXT. Guess what? His whole NXT run has been great. When he went back, then they put him with Braun Breaker, kind of like Samoa Joe and like Finn Balor type of thing. It's like, hey, guess what? You put two personalities together. Guess what? They're gonna work. And I didn't realize how. I was with you. I was shocked on how much they work. But man, their chemistry is ridiculous.
Yeah, it was fun to watch. And it's like I already missed them already. So
yeah. But it's short lived because Braun's the future, man.
The main event was good. It's like it's Mello doing helping put Trick over before he gets drafted.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed the steel cage match. So that was fun. Yeah, go ahead and give your thoughts about what Dave Meltzer dissing Trick and Tatum Paxley.
All right, so I'm gonna read the comment. And did you put you didn't put the Tatum Paxley in here?
It's right there in the private chat.
Right, I got the Trick. I don't have the Tatum, but I
can find that.
Well, I'll let you know exactly what I'll sub.
Yeah, just go ahead.
Whatever. So as far as what he said about Trick isn't that good. That's the reality. This is Dave Meltzer, by the way, from all of our great listeners. Trick isn't that good. That's reality. He's got incredible charisma, but you put him in a main event match. Granted, he did look really good against Ilya, but Ilya is one of those people that gives you a false perception of the ability of the other person. Okay, all right. So here's where I'm going with where Dave is coming.
Just go off on this.
All right. So number one, you're wrong. Okay. Now you're right on that. He has one of the greatest charismas ever, and yes, he does need work. That's why he's in NXT and not on the main roster. Okay. Does he put on your boys Will Ospreay? You haven't given a 5-star match to any WWE match like ever. So there's number one. Number two, you're saying that Trick Williams is Batista. How did Batista's career work for him? Hey Justin, do you remember how good in the ring Batista was?
It took a while for him to get there because he sucked ass for quite a while.
But did you still love him and you still look forward to every match he did?
Yeah.
Hey, guess what, asshole? That's Trick Williams. Okay?
Right.
That's still hey, guess what? If you make money, who gives a shit?
Remember how Rocky was when he first started out as babyface Rocky Maivia? Not the best.
Not the best. It just
takes time sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes people are like just gifted right out of the gate, like Batista. It's like, or I mean, like Brock Lesnar,
right.
Or Kurt Angle. It's like that. It's just like bam. No,
Dude,
damn.
you remember how technical Hulk Hogan was?
It took a while for Cena to get there.
Yeah.
Cena was pretty decent, but it's like it took a while for him to get really good.
Hulk Hogan was just smart. Like he realized like his charisma and like he didn't have because we saw him work in Japan.
Yeah.
But he realized he was like, why do I need to do all that? Just my charisma and all that stuff gets over. And The Rock kind of got into that because The Rock was the most even, like he wasn't the most technical, but his charisma and stuff. Trick isn't The Rock. No one's ever going to be The Rock or Stone Cold, something like that. But like that, but like Meltzer is right in like the 0.0001% of like, yeah, dude still needs work, but it's not like charisma goes a long way in wrestling, and to put on a decent match still will make a match great. Guess what? Hulk Hogan is that good in charisma and puts on decent matches.
That's why
his whole career. That is Hulk Hogan's career.
Yeah, I mean, Hulkamania was not just a wrestling phenomenon; it was a pop culture, all across the United States phenomenon because of Hogan's charisma.
Mm-hmm. Look back at remember those classic matches? Oh, when he scoop slammed Andre the Giant, yeah, that was great. Like, that's what we're saying. Like, not everyone has to be your boy Will Ospreay, Dave. Not everyone has to be the Young Bucks, because he even talked about that shit too. It's like there's better. FTR is a better tag team than the Young Bucks. Yeah, I said it. Take me to the freaking bench. I don't care. And then he talked about shit about Tatum Paxley, saying that Alexa Bliss has done like the creepy character and stuff like that. And I was like, well, Tatum's doing good work. I don't know what he has against who pissed him off in WWE to make him never give a Kurt Angle match a 5-star match. I swear to you, I think Vince McMahon pissed him off so much, which makes sense, that he just gives shit to. I don't want you to be biased. That's the one thing about Sean Ross Sapp. He tries to play the fence the best way he can, which Sean Ross Sapp can be a fence sitter, because even after last week, he was like, well, it's for an angle for FTR. I was like, come on, Sean. Come on. It was a bad angle. But Dave coming out talking about this about Trick, he is right in the slightest. And it's the same thing with when listening to Jim Cornette. Like, I can see where he's coming from, but a lot of times it's a lot of pent up aggression to something that has nothing to do with that wrestler. It has everything to do with a bunch of outside of the ring crap. And and he's been doing it a lot more. That makes no sense to me. So I will give the floor to you.
No, you said it. It's like it takes time. That's why they're in NXT,
right?
To get better. It's like I know people get annoyed by this. I'm not going to get too worked up, but I'm just like rolls my eyes. It's like whatever, Dave. Don't get too worked over it, but it's like really, come on, man. It's like
I don't know who crapped in his Cheerios in WWE. I really don't, because like Trick is on the right trajectory and he's hitting the right notes. Is his we've been talking about his in-ring work, yeah, but that's why I brought up Dave Bautista. Dave Bautista never put on a technical 5-star match, and he even he comes out and says, like, his World Heavyweight Championship match against Triple H, which we still talk about to this day. He was like, dude, if it wasn't for Triple H, I wouldn't have got to that match. The British Bulldog won for Bret Hart. He wouldn't have got to that match. And he was like, well, yeah. Well, anytime you get with Ilya, I was like, yeah, he's a better wrestler than Trick. Who knew? No shit, dude. Ilya's a better wrestler, but he's not a better overall character than Trick. He's not going to sell more t-shirts than Trick, because I'm sorry, wrestling business, is about character plus in-ring work. It's not just putting on good matches. Ask AEW.
Mm-hmm.
And all he cares about is in-ring work. You don't have to have a freaking 7-star match every single time. Ilya has the chance to have that character work on top of it in-ring work. Daniel Bryan, Daniel Bryan is what Dave Meltzer's What Dream is. Of character work plus 5-star match after 5-star match after 5-star match. That is his, and Kurt Angle, even though he never gave him a 5-star rating. Because he was in WWE, he was a WWE lifer until he went to TNA, but he still. But anyway, that's what Dave thinks more in ring work over promo. It takes both in storytelling, stuff like that. Trick has charisma and storytelling.
Yep.
1,000%. And sometimes all it takes is that, because as Dusty Rhodes famously said to Paul Heyman in one of his promos when he was young, and you can look on it on his documentary. And when Paul Heyman went out there, said a bunch of stuff, and he came back, thought he killed it, and Dusty looked at him and was like, "What'd you do out there?" And he's like, "What are you talking about? I said what I need to say." And he goes, "Yeah, but where's the money?"
Dusty.
And
yeah,
that's the thing, is like, you have to sell the match.
Yeah.
Now the match will take care of itself.
Absolutely.
Yes, it will be underwhelming sometimes, but if you sell it the right way, you can do 3 moves and still be an amazing match, which is why we talk about Hogan and Rock. Because remember what was the best moment of that match? The stare down and the crowd. That was the best match. We still talk about that match till this day, and we don't know any move they did except for a rock bottom and a leg drop and some kickouts. So to sit out there and tell that Trick is not a good wrestler doesn't mean that Trick isn't a great wrestler.
Yeah.
So that's my Dusty impression.
Well said. That's all I gotta say. You nailed it.
So yeah, I think we'll end it at that. I think we'll end it at that. Unless you got anything else.
No, I think you summed everything perfectly.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining us. Justin, tell them, I'm going to flip to you on this one. Tell them where you can find us.
You can find us at Ruckus Wrestling here on Ruckusev, RUCKUSEV, both on YouTube and Twitch. And if you want to support us financially, please join the Patreon, patreon.com/Ruckusev. We have an awesome Discord where we just hang out and just talk about all kinds of stuff. It's fun times.
It's fun times. We also play Catan, and we have some clans going on there. And Justin and Tushka beat me all the time because, certain things are involved, but it's fun. It's still fun.
Maybe if you remember the rules, it definitely helps.
It's crazy. It's crazy how that works. But anyway, Justin, it's always a pleasure. It's always fun every week of just talking shop with you as far as the wrestling business is concerned, and this is such a great. I'm so glad that we can always link up every week, especially in the new this new era of really excellent wrestling.
Yeah, so we are living in a golden age, boys and girls, and it's really cool and it's fun to talk about. I look forward to this every week. It's a blast.
Yeah. So all, thank you all so much for joining us. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, all that fun jazz, and we will see you all next time.